Should I start in the
Baby.
deep voice?
Here we go. All right. Hey, chat. What's up, chat? How's it going? How's it going? Welcome on in now. All ready for this? Let's start this thing out. All right. 3, 2, and a 1. Hello, hello. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 33 of the Battlefield Show. I'm your host once again, JulianJanganoo. Welcome all in. I am joined here with the most gorgeous looking man on Twitch, ItalianSuperBeast. Damn!
What's up? What's up? God damn! What am I supposed to do after that? Just end the stream. Done.
How you doing, ItalianSuperBeast? Thank you for coming on,
doing
man.
Spectacular, man. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's been a long time coming, ever since we met you over there at TwitchCon 2019. My God. It felt like an age ago, and I wish I was there, this year, but I don't think it's happening this year at all, but I'd love to catch up, so that's why I brought you on the show. Dude, let's catch up from TwitchCon, man. So let's just start off with this. Okay. Where did you start with Battlefield? What was your first Battlefield game?
My first Battlefield, we touched on a little bit beforehand, was BF3. And before that, a bunch of my friends were, that was around the time of Halo 3, COD 4, and Bad Company 2. And everybody's like, hey, man, you got to try Bad Company. I'm like, man, I'm so lazy to get my fat ass up and take the disc out to even play COD or something like that in the first place. So
Yeah.
why do I want to fuck around with another disc with, Bad Company 2, especially something I don't know about? And so I kind of waited for, the next game to come out, and BF3 came out, and I was like, that looks fucking badass. So,
Right.
Battlefield 3 was my first Battlefield, and I loved it. It was a great game. I didn't have as much time to put in. I mean, I have 1,300 hours in BF5, and I didn't even. That's the first game I've ever broken 1,000 hours in. So, I definitely didn't spend that much time in BF3, but it was a great time to dip my toe in some Battlefield for sure.
Dude, a lot of BF3 talk going around. There's been rumors, leaks. Every freaking YouTuber I can know has been talking about Battlefield 3 in this possible remaster of it coming out soon, which would be it would save a lot of our skins, because otherwise it's gonna be 1 year of either playing Battlefield 5, which I can't even imagine, or just start doing like other games, variety stream or Call of Duty. Man, it would be pretty awesome. So what do you think about a Battlefield 3 remaster?
Right at this time, what I would be afraid of is that because of the current state of Battlefield, because of Battlefield 5, that they would rush the remaster out. Like, please don't do that. Just get it right. Get it the way it should be for BF3. Because you imagine what would happen if they fucked up the remaster of BF3.
That's exactly.
It would be great to have that transition into BF6 a year and a half from now, or where the fuck it's actually supposed to be. But if they fucked up the remaster of BF3, it would be just next level,
Yeah.
gross.
Well, what really sucks is that they've been fucking up everything recently, and
my God,
like so many times in a row. I feel like this is gonna be like, what are they gonna change? Because like, I swear, if like the people who are working on Battlefield 5 we wouldn't allow them to touch anything in Battlefield 5, for God's sake.
no.
I don't know what they would change, or I mean, I guess we can talk about it. I know the server tick rates were a big problem for Battlefield 3, and like hit registration, it was really janky, and maybe the movement really just hasn't aged well, but I mean, it's still a beautiful ass game. I mean, I think the servers and I mean, Battlelog, you have to use Battlelog. I mean, for a remaster, you're gonna have to use Battlelog, like,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, and I didn't even really get into all the ins and outs and settings and all that kind of thing. I mean, really, my first time dipping my toe in settings and that kind of thing was really in BF5, because I started playing it competitively. But so a lot of the normal problems or glitches or whatever, I kind of just didn't pay attention to. I didn't really start learning more about just the garbage that happens with games, because I don't know if the same thing happened with BF4 for on PC or not, but for the Xbox One, going from the 360 to Xbox One for BF4, it was almost unplayable for the first
Yeah.
uh 3 6 months. I don't know if that's the same for you guys or not.
No, well, no, it wasn't the same, but we had our own problems. Like, we couldn't even play the goddamn game. It was that bad. But no, yeah, it was terrible. It was BF. Don't even remind me about BF4 launch. It was the worst.
Sorry.
But yeah,
BF3
BF3 had some launch problems as well that were really bad. I don't recall all the little problems that shot up, but I remember they had a lot of server issues, like lag. Lag was awful. That's all we complained about. I remember that. It's like, man, this server's hell laggy. We're rubber banding like a motherfucker everywhere. It was pretty nuts. And then after it rubber banded, it got so, like, I don't know, a memory leak or something, and just crashes all the servers at once across the whole board. It was a mess. But I don't know what they would have to. They're talking. The leak said that they were talking about adding cosmetics, but that's a different thing, I guess, to talk about. But yeah, Battlefield 3 had that single player and had tons of good maps in the DLC content that came out later. Did you ever dabble in the DLC content?
You know what? Bringing up campaigns and single player, I could not care
Oh.
less.
Yeah,
I
no.
could not fucking care less. I don't care about. I'll go to sleep. Like when I have to,
Present sleeper. Yeah.
I'll just go to sleep. I can't. I need real people to play against. I need to feel better about destroying other people online, or
Hell yeah.
learning how to, and just it's something, there's somebody really on the other side of that controller or keyboard or whatever. There's somebody else playing that versus just the AI. Because I mean, if you're gonna go way back to when single player really started annoying me, Nintendo 64, Perfect Dark. Okay,
Ooh.
I don't know if you've ever played it,
Yes.
but if you put it on dark sims or whatever, they would pre-shoot you through the wall. You know what I mean? Like there was no, because the program already knows where you are. There's no chance. You know what I mean? You're just already dead. So that just drives me fucking nuts. So if there's gonna be any kind of AI, it already knows where you're at. You put on the highest difficulty, you're dead before you even turn the corner, and that just drives me fucking nuts.
Hey,
I
they're all
can't. I
bots.
just can't do it. Exactly. So that's where campaigns. I just put that in the little box right there. Like, no, this makes me go sleepy. Sleepy bye. We'll put that over there. I want to play online.
Yeah, but yeah, BF3 single player was regarded as one of the best single players they've ever put out. But still, like, if you're comparing to other games when it comes to story and single, I mean, it's not that great. It has its moments, I suppose. Yeah, the earthquake scenes in the beginning and the jets. I remember, yeah, you're a jet pilot for one part of it, which was cool looking, but it was all on rails. It looked really good on the trailer. But the thing is
That's always a
that,
great.
yeah, the thing is that, for remaster, are they gonna put all their eggs in one basket there for the remasters? Like, oh shit, well we gotta focus on single player. That's what they're gonna want to see. And I don't know. I hope they really focus on multiplayer, because it seems like that's what people would want nowadays.
I thought that, to that point, I thought it was interesting with the Xbox Series X, or what the hell it's called, that's coming out.
Yeah.
They said that it was all in-game multiplayer footage or whatever. And I was like, hey, all right. Like, because they always give you this dramatic, awesome cinematic trailers that's like, okay, I already know that's going to look at least X amount of, FPS less than what we're actually seeing there. It's just not going to look anything like that. So, okay, this is great. We're in Fantasyland right now, and maybe the game will be decent, or look decent, something like that. Because
And you
it's
guys
just
have been, I mean, you guys have been playing. I mean, you've been playing on console your whole life, pretty much, right?
yeah, and I'm an
And
old guy too. So.
you guys been doing 60 FPS for a long time, right?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean,
So
want to start good.
yeah, imagine you guys playing at 120 FPS on the new consoles for Battlefield. Dude, that changes lives, dude. I don't understand, like, going from 30 or 60 FPS to 120 or 144 is the jump I actually went to. Will be just, you won't want to go back.
I
I
know.
never want to go back.
So I don't want to touch it. But you know why? Because that first jump is going to be expensive, and it's going to hurt me, and it's going to make me upset, and then it's going to make me feel like I betrayed everything that I always knew. I've always been a console gamer. Well, I mean, there was some. If we're talking my PC gaming experience, we're talking Quake.
Oh yeah.
Quake 1. I mean,
Oh
the
god.
Quake, the first one, okay? So that's my PC experience or Doom, okay? Spacebar up against every fucking picture or whatever, waiting to open the pictures to get the loot or the med packs or whatever. That was my experience with PC because it's
Yeah.
just not, and that was where I left it because I was like, man, I can't, I never wanted to. I kind of come from humble beginnings, so I was like the thought of spending that much money on something like that, would be pretty
Yeah, hell yeah.
extreme for me. So, but we'll see. I mean, it's all people ask me if I would ever transition to being a PC gamer slash streamer, and I was like, I'm not going to rule it out necessarily, but I kind of like the niche of being an Xbox or console player, just because everybody kind of does transition into PC gaming, and it feels like it would be not quite a betrayal, but then there's why does everybody have to automatically go to PC? So
Yeah, you
we'll see.
don't. I mean, not with the new consoles coming out. To answer some of the people's questions here in the chat, and welcome everybody. We're here with ItalianSuperBeast talking about some Xbox and the new consoles coming out. Welcome. Thanks for that gifted sub to Avenging Storm. Hell yeah. Also met her over there with you over there at TwitchCon. Welcome on in. Good to have you. But yeah, from the reports I'm hearing,
oh my god,
all that good stuff. Man, for some reason I still hear that. I thought I muted the alerts, but thank you for the 100 bits, man. Just Gav, welcome on in.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I thought I muted it. I
oh
guess.
my god.
But yeah, from the reports with Xbox or PlayStation, they should handle 120 FPS. So, I would probably start trying to get an FPS high refresh rate monitor. They're probably gonna be selling those like hotcakes soon. Now that you guys finally have it, yeah. Now that people are finally for the what was it the new Xbox, though it did 4K, but it only did 4K 60, right, or 4K 30.
I want to say it was 60, but it was only for cinematic scenes. None of the gaming itself. That's kind of like what we just covered with the trailers and stuff like that. It would only be the cinematic parts of the games.
Yeah, okay.
So I mean, only the transition scenes or whatever would be like, oh man, it looks so beautiful, and then go back to the shit, for when you're actually, shooting somebody. So, that's that was the 4K experience on Xbox One. I have an Xbox One X.
Yeah, that's it. Xbox One X. And now it's called the Series X coming out. I don't know, man. Dude, I brought up multiple times my stream that I was like considering getting a new Xbox just to like get away from cheaters and stuff.
Oh man, I would not be able to handle that. I would lose my fucking mind.
You
guys deal with these people. I know Enders, I saw him in chat earlier. I mean, just hackers following you guys from lobby to lobby. It's like, dude, get a fucking life. Get your head out of your ass. Get your balls out of your mother's purse. Get out of your grandma's basement. Get the fuck out of here. What that's your goal in life, to be a clown?
Yeah,
that's what you're
the
gonna
goal in
do?
their life.
And I don't get it.
Trash clowns.
Especially if talking all that shit, I better stick on Xbox. So here I am, Xbox One X. Here we go.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. And if I can simply just is like, okay, PC ain't working right now. These guys are being assholes. There's no anti-cheat once again. I could just switch over to Xbox, and if that has mouse and keyboard support, fuck yeah, let's go play. I could just transition right over. That's my mindset right now. But fuck, I doubt it's that easy. I'm sure there's gonna be a whole bunch of loopholes, and I can't use like a Zim. I'm not gonna use a Zim or anything like that. I want first party support. Otherwise, I'll just have to deal with it on PC.
Yeah, they got the Zim and Cronus Max, stuff like that, and they have the scripts you can write for those that have the auto aim type thing. So there's no hacking on consoles or Xbox specifically. I can't really speak to the PS4, but you can use those programs and have scripts written for them and stuff like that. You can it'll say just look on a fucking site for Cronus Max or whatever. Like, oh, you can have better aim and whatever. It's like, what fun is the game even playing? Like the game is playing it for you? Is that cool? I mean, is that fun thing to do?
The input lag is fucking terrible. I tried it at one of my friend's house a long time ago to play Battlefield 1 on his Xbox, and it is awful. But then I learned later on that you can't put those scripts in there where you can have no recoil. Yeah, the recoil reduction is like to 0 or something. And yeah, it was crazy. So I definitely will not be using any one of those things because yes, you guys are right. The input lag is terrible. It's not like it is on PC. But if they have first party support, which I heard PlayStation might be doing and Xbox be doing, like team up with Razer and whatnot, I'm down.
Yeah.
I think I'm down. I think it might be worth it to do it. Then I could play exclusives too, which will be cool. The problem is are all the development companies going to be supporting the mouse and keyboard first party? You know, that's maybe some companies don't want to do that, especially if they're making console exclusives. They're not going to want to go rework their game for PC use or whatever down the line, because that's still a trend, and I don't like that trend. That's why I never like consoles, is because of the everything's like it has to be tailor made for this or for that console, and then PC's left in the dust, even though they designed their goddamn games on PCs. I don't know, but the fact that you guys are getting SSDs now and finally higher FPS, do Battlefield for any person that's been playing on console, especially for you, SuperBeast, dude, it's gonna be a game changer, man. I don't know, it's gonna be pretty fucking awesome, I would think. But
I can't wait, and I'm excited. To the mouse and keyboard point, with especially with console, I had no idea. I'd rarely heard of anybody using a mouse and keyboard for console. It didn't really make any sense to me. But once I started playing competitive Battlefield, I did start. I didn't play that until BF5. Um, it it became obvious, or way more apparent, that how many people were really using mouse and keyboard. People getting, they had to ban them from certain leagues. Obviously, it's not banned from Xbox. You know what I mean? You can't like report somebody or get them banned that way, but it would be banned from the leagues because, in my opinion, and I think there's at least even a slight advantage is an advantage. You know what I mean? Like if you have, like when your controller, when you're going to move left to right, we have to recenter, then go to the other side. You know what I mean? So there's even that slight of advantage. I mean, the reason why you have an elite controller, stuff like that, so you can put extra buttons on there to save time. I don't have to take my finger off the stick and to hit the jump button or the slide button or anything like that. I just tap those, and underneath, and I don't have to move. I can still be aiming and looking, moving, looking to do those things. So it saves X amount of. You talk about input lag. Forget you're talking fractions of a second that all add up. You're like turning on somebody or whatever. That it just seems way more fluid and natural for a mouse and keyboard setup. So, and PS4 for their leagues, for competitive Battlefield 5, they just kind of turn a blind eye, like mouse and keyboards everywhere on PS4.
Wow.
So yeah,
really?
So I mean, not everybody necessarily, but yeah, quite a significant portion of it are just like the whole teams are mouse and keyboard, and it's kind of, I don't know. That's something.
That.
I'm like, that's kind of gross. I'm like, I mean, you do you. I'm just not going to do that. I don't, not to mention I wouldn't know how to do it in the first place. So
yeah, it's very divisive. The whole peripherals being used. I know Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out, and it is, showcasing cross-platform, and that's going to be definitely in the next Battlefield game. Like,
it's better. If it's not, they're committing suicide all over again, like they did when they killed BF5 in the first place.
Exactly. No, exactly. I would be very surprised if they couldn't do that. It must be a main feature for any next multiplayer shooter, to be honest. And
exactly. Because even people would compromise. I think they would compromise and take and play a shittier game, like a lower tier game, just because they could be cross platform, just because they have the ability to say, you know what, let me try and be a badass and play against PC gamers and whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can choose to go to the upper tier, like Fortnite. I mean, Fortnite was a free fucking game that you can play cross platform. And a guy that I know on Xbox, I don't know if he still streams or not. I haven't seen him in a while, but he would intentionally just play against PC players all day, every day with an Xbox controller. Through Xbox, he would just opt into the PC servers, and he would win fairly regularly. So I know it's possible. I know you can do it. A couple people from Xbox have played PC with on the controller and stuff like that, and did just fine.
Yeah, no, I've seen that a lot. I've seen a lot of even the other people in your clan and other streamers as well have come on over to PC and played on controller completely fine, wrecking faces. Like, I don't know if it's the aim assist or whatever, but they're doing just fine on PC. It's totally fine. But I wanted to ask you, how would you, or what kind of features would you want for crossplay Battlefield 6? What kind of options would you want? Because PC people are going to be running around with you. What would you say?
Asking like if I would like an auto aim, like that kind of thing, or what?
Or, yeah,
like what's
yeah, an auto aim, like a option like that, or just to opt out of playing with keyboard mouse people, like lock it.
Definitely opt out. Yeah, I would say. I mean, to be fair, because not everybody's, they any game that's really tried to keep it skill based by the rank or whatever seems like it's pretty tough to do in the first place. But so just dropping people in the meat grinder and saying you're playing with everybody out there. It doesn't matter if it's a PC gamer or console, either consoles. That should be you're kind of just going with it. I think there should be an opt out, just like with Call of Duty. Yeah, you can opt out. You can play just console gamers, or PC. You can opt into the PC as well. And I don't think, I think that would be suicide if they didn't do that, or at least a big problem. Because there's people aren't always ready for that because there's so many tryhards. And then especially considering for Modern Warfare, they have no field of view slider for console. And it's like, what? I mean, that's a fucking game changer. I mean, as soon as I learned about field of view, like I was talking about settings, is where I kind of dip my toe in settings for BF5, and how much a field of view slider changed my life. I'm like, oh my god, like I can see everything. I can react. I can do things. Like, this is fucking awesome. Like, it legitimately upped my game. And then to go from a BF5, the gameplay there is questionable all the time, but go to Modern Warfare, then I'm like it's like a pivot. Like it's so fucking strange and such a stark difference. From
so we need that. You need that for sure, right?
Yeah.
FOV slider.
Yeah, field of view slider for sure. Goes without saying. And then stuff like just the ability to not have to play with the PC gamer as well. So console or PC. All platforms or all platforms or console only or something like that.
Okay, now that we're on cross-platform and Call of Duty and stuff, they have Warzone. Warzone is a BR. Should Battlefield attempt another BR?
Let me give you one of these. I don't think so. I mean, they really I think I watched your Battlefield show with Chicken Beef or Lamb,
Yep.
Chicken AU now. And he's like, it really should have been separate. And I think even Jack Frags called it out way early on. He's like, man, if they're gonna try and make this BR work for Battlefield, they need to have it as an independent game. Release that free separately. Like, because at that time, all the good games. I mean, Apex came out of nowhere. I heard you mention that episode as well, where it was free and nobody even knew about it. But they flew in some streamers or whatever to check it out, and then bam, it hit the market and it just fucking exploded. And it was a free game as well. So how the hell can you expect, Battlefield or EA and DICE of all companies anyway to release a BR to compete with free, and then with what they released? So that's
not
we all
free,
know
not standalone. Yeah. They basically didn't listen at all. I think it was because it was the only way it could work with Battlefield 5, and there was no time for Criterion to develop it on its own platform, on its own EXE. There just wasn't any time. It just had to be shoot in with Battlefield 5 because that's how it was created. It was created on a broken system, and that's why we have a broken game. It's just the way the architecture was from the beginning. There's so many different examples. Like the smallest and most obvious example is, you know, the assignment system. The assignment system was never changed or altered. Maybe the UI was changed a little bit to where it's like in alphabetical order. That's literally all they can change. They couldn't have it in game. You couldn't change them once you completed them in game. All that because it was built on a specific system. So yeah. What's up, Sip Johnny P? Thanks for the raid,
Johnny
man.
P with the raid. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was.
So yeah.
I believe I still have the KE7. For the support class, the first gun, the bipod kills. I never finished them because because number one, I maxed out the rank at level 50 in like 6 days, something like that. And then I was like, okay, they need to release more ranks. Like I said, I can't remember exactly if the points were even going to count toward that. I was like, I'm not going to start doing all these assignments, stuff like that, especially if I got to leave the goddamn game. So let me wait for the update, wait for them to kick up the ranks so I can actually makes these things, work for me. You know what I mean? Why should I bother grinding these out when none of these points are actually going to go towards anything? I'm going to have, a billion goddamn points as level 50, and then they're going to up it, and they upped it to 500. And then you have nothing left to grind out. You know what I mean? Like now you're just left to, I just feel like playing for another 1,000 hours, whatever the fuck it is, just to grind out to level 500. I mean, I don't know. They just dropped.
It was just so lazy. It was so lazy, like last minute kind of things. Like, oh yeah, this is let's put these in. Let's type out this thing, and it always had like typos and whatnot in it. It was like really.
Yes. That drives you nuts too. I'm glad you caught those too, because I'm watching like I'd read the word like 6 times. Am I an idiot? No. They're an idiot. Look, read that again. No, yeah, there it is. Okay. I thought it was me for a second. I had to type it out of my fucking text to somebody and make sure. I'm like, okay, I'm not an idiot. That was them.
Dude, you just remind me one thing. I really want to talk to you about. I haven't talked about this with anybody else really on the show. Is the rank system? How you play Battlefield 3, BF4, BF1. Do you play Hardline?
I did play Hardline. My biggest problem, and Big Brother Stevie, if he's out there, he is. He might take offense to this because this was his first Battlefield. Was Hardline. To me, Hardline was a good game, but it was not Battlefield. It was not Battlefield to me. And that's what bothered me. Like I loved BF3 and BF4 because it was Battlefield. It was you could blow up any fucking wall, essentially anything. You just make a fucking hole somewhere. But in Hardline, it's like, well, you can go with this one wall and put C4 on and blow it over that way. I'm like, that is so goddamn lame. I mean, they had really cool game types. Like I forget what the one was called where you have to drive the one car around and stuff like that, and people were supposed to try and stop you. And like that was the really creative things, but it just wasn't Battlefield to me. And I'm sorry, Stevie, I love you, I love your face, Stevie, but it did not feel like Battlefield to me whatsoever, and I just shelved it and moved along. So I had pretty minimal hours into that game. It was fun.
Let's talk about progression. So the ranking system. Now that you've mentioned all the different games, BF1, all that. Do you have any ideas of like how you would want to rank up? Maybe is a number good enough or a insignia good enough? Do you have any like, oh man, I wish ranking up was like this? Like, did you ever bring that up probably in your streams?
Never directly in my stream. I do like the idea. Like I don't mind the fact that it went to level 500 for Battlefield 5. It's just they waited for so fucking long to do it in the first place. And why couldn't it have been like didn't BF4 do like, they kind of staggered it, like they did like 100 and then 150 or something like that, or they went from,
that's right,
they went from, I forget exactly what they did, like went up to 60 initially, then 100, then 200, something like that. That was okay, but I mean, as you go along, not just, hey, the game's already fucked up and dead, go to 500. It's like I guess I can try and do that, but why?
I think. So I mean, I think I get it. Why they want it so low is for new players to not feel left out or that they're getting crushed by fucking rank 140s on the second day of play. You know, they're like, oh god,
Eh,
I'm getting stomped by a level 100, colonel, and this game sucks, right? Like I'm rank 1. Why are these guys so good already? Maybe if they just kept it low, people wouldn't complain as much. But I hate
but
that. It's so not rewarding.
as a skilled player or somebody who's aspiring to be better even, you
Yeah.
can watch somebody's movements and learn. So if I see somebody if I'm starting this game out and I see a guy who's level 80 already, I'm like, Jesus, look at, I'm like, how the fuck did the guy get up that and well, and you can watch, look at the kill feed. What gun are they using? You know what I mean? You start learning things like that. Like that guy's fucking slaying people. What was he using the whole time? FG42. Like, oh my God. And you start learning like that. So if you leave people low ranks, then there's nothing differentiating everybody. Everybody in this fucking game was level 50 after like the first month, and then what? You can't. You have to like, look at KD, and every kid's making oh hey mom, I went 20-1, laying on my ass in the corner with a fucking bipod MG42, and you're like, well, is that guy skilled or is he just a fucking clown? So it's one of those things where if you have a higher rank, you could automatically see okay, in what was it? Call of Duty, Black Ops, the first Black Ops. You could in lobbies pull up people's profiles. You could look at their profiles. You could look at their last 10 games, their KDs throughout the last 10 games, their profile to see, how many their win-loss percentage. I mean, all those things were accessible, waiting in the fucking lobby for the game to start. Where the fuck did that kind of thing go? I mean, I love that. That was fantastic. That was like, oh, this guy's a high rank. Let me check him out real quick. Is he just grinded out and have 1,000 hours in the game already? Because I mean, at that time, shit, Modern Warfare 2 and all that,
cool.
there's a bunch of people that would just pass off the controller to their roommate. They're going to bed or going to work or whatever, pass it off to the next guy, just trying to get to the highest rank as fast as possible. So they weren't good. They just logged so many goddamn hours that it was like, that they ended up progressing in throughout the game. But you could go in the lobby and check out everybody's stats and be like, okay, I'm gonna watch out for this guy, or let me see what this guy's got going on. All that kind of stuff was all at your fingertips.
Was there anything like that in any other Battlefield games, where like you could just click on a profile and check them out?
BF4, I want to say. I can't remember if it was in game or not. Shit, man, I'm an old man. It may have. I think in BF4 you could probably go into the scoreboard and pull up the profile through there. I can't remember exactly. There was a way to do it because you can see, check out their KD, and it didn't always have like a KD breakdown. But I remember you could look it up in other games. I remember being like lost, like it had been something that was very useful to me or something I thought was really cool. That kind of just transitioned, gone, and that was Xbox 360. when the Xbox One came out, BF4. When that came out, it was the Xbox 360 was a better console than the Xbox One. It was like everything fun. You couldn't even send a voice message on Xbox One, and like so all the things you were used to from an Xbox, it was just gone. Like BF4 looked beautiful, but you couldn't even fucking play it. Like we talked about. I mean, unfortunately, I got to bring it up again, Julian. I'm sorry. The transition from to BF4 because you bought it for 360. The Xbox One came out, and then you had to transfer your profiles and shit like that through Battlelog, and then the game wasn't playable. I don't know if you had the same thing, but I had this permanent thing, black screen. Imagine it. Close your eyes and imagine it. Black screen, upper right corner, that blinking white cursor. Okay, it's there. It was there for an hour and 45 minutes. Am I getting to the game? Maybe I'm not. Should I quit out of the fucking game? I hear sounds. Am I no, I get kicked out. Fuck. So, spent 6 goddamn hours. I literally spent 6 hours. And I did the same thing with the Master Chief Collection. I was really upset with a friend of mine in a party, just talking for 6 hours trying to play fucking game. We played 2 games of Battlefield Conquest that were half-assed that we got booted out of. I was like, what the fuck? I called customer service. And I'm gonna say I allegedly called customer service for Microsoft, and I'm like, I don't know if it's my console or what the hell is gonna go on. I had to hard reset that thing so many fucking times, and I was like, I don't know if it's my console or what, but I'm getting booted out of games and all that. I'm like, tell you what, give me some kind of upper executive's email or something like that. I'm gonna send a video of me shotgunning this console because it's a gigantic pile of fucking shit. And the tech, and this is all allegedly, by the way, and the tech was like, sir, are you making threats? I'm like, no, I'm not making threats, you jack off. I'm like, I'm pissed off at your shit ass console. I can't play this fucking. It was so hard to tell if it was the console itself or Battlefield. It was just, I'm like, I can't tell. And since I'm such a one game guy, I was like, well, let me try to play some Battlefield again. And it just, it took about 6 months, but kind of transitioning into BF5. BF4 was a pile of shit when it was released. You couldn't play it. It was garbage, especially on, at least on console. If you equipped a flashbang on your support class, black screen, gone, game crash.
Oh my god! Like we
What
had
does that tell you?
That's crazy.
We didn't test the game, guys. We didn't test the game. What are you supposed to do? Game testers, the alphas. Let me send out all these codes or invitations or whatever for all these guys to try out this game. Please come try it out. They didn't test the basic functions of the fucking game. I'm not upset about it at all, by the way. But Battlefield 4 became a good game. It eventually was a very playable, very fun, a game that I will be going back and probably streaming here and there as well moving forward. And but BF5, that's why I clung to it so much. I'm like, it'll get better. I saw this with BF4.
Yeah.
It was garbage. You couldn't play it for 6 months, but now when we're a year into it, I'm like, no, it's okay. Remember BF4? They fixed it. It'll be okay. But they're like, no, we're not gonna fix anything. Matter of fact, we'll say that we fixed this, and this. These things are not fixed, and we fucked up these things. Good for you. And release some new skins that also you can't shoot. Like, okay. And you just, punch yourself in the goddamn face like, you're supposed to fix it. You're supposed to fix it. You're supposed to fix it. Why is this fixed now? And it hurts my brain. It does. I have a little brain as it is, Julian, and it hurts it.
I did not even know about those, but I would love to learn more about console bugs on BF4. My God, because I only remember the PC ones were horrendous, but these are trippy. I don't remember that one. All you had to do was have a flashbang and like throw it, or just like
equipped it. If you equipped it in your class and spawned in, crash. Fuck. Why? God damn it.
Dude, this is my first
all over again, man.
This might be your same experience for me in BF4, but when I first launched a BF4 launch day, it was was the one with the big tower again?
Shanghai, yeah.
Siege of Shanghai, yeah. I load up on that. I spawn on the, I guess you would say, the right side of it, and the game was going already. It was insane lag. Like I think it was like 50 frames per second, like really bad for PC, right? I'm like trying to go for over 100 at that time, and this was after them taking in our optimization results, or taking our data from our computers and hopefully optimizing it by the time it came out, right? From the betas from the betas. So I load in, I rocket out, I'm walking along, right? I stutter a few times. My screen goes black for a second. I was like, oh, that's fine. Go back in. I go to the water. I see a jet ski go by, and they're breaking down the tower, and you can hear like the alarms going off, and it's like kind of crumbling. And someone shot a rocket at the very last pillar, and it started to fall. And then everyone was looking, because everyone like stopped fighting and started looking at the building to come down. What the hell
is that goddamn noise?
Because we saw on the trailer, right? It's like, oh, the building's coming down. Look. And so we all went on. We're all on TeamSpeak and everything, and we look up. It's coming down. There's like a video screen on the face of the building, and it kind of like cracks and turns off. So right when that thing cracked and turned off and was starting to fall over, the whole server crashed, and we were all in TeamSpeak. We're like, what the fuck, dude? And this happens every single time. It
was too much. It was just too much. It was visually stunning and awesome and spectacular. So much so that it's godlike, and you can't see it nor hear it. So get the fuck out of the game. Goodbye.
Dude, it wasn't fixed for over a week. I think it wasn't fixed for over a week, from what I recall.
I would love for things to be fixed after just a week, Julian. I would take 2 weeks for BF5 to be fixed, as a matter of fact, right now. Let's put that 2 weeks right now, and I'll play some BF5 in 2 weeks.
Hell yeah.
I would love for things to be, even attempted to be fixed.
I wanted to try here something for you guys. This might be a little different, but I have a new scene for this whole Battlefield show setup. It's kind of like a side-by-side thing, but I've never tried it before, and I didn't even test it. Look at me. I'm like fucking dice right now. I wanted to show it off and see if this might work. Maybe ItalianSuperBeast might be a little off center. I'm not sure, but all right, here you go, guys. Let's hope this works here.
Oh shit.
Does it work? Kinda. Do you guys see it on your end? What do you think?
Hey,
A little better?
I like it.
Okay,
You see
cool.
my dresser? Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good. We're good. I
Oh,
like
it's yeah,
we're
it's
good.
you're a little. I can fix that right now on the fly, dude. No problem. Let me see. Boom! Look at that.
You
Bam!
Ooh,
Piece of cake. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh, now
good.
you're really big. Oh shit.
Oh. Ah, ah.
I think that
I'm
should be
looking at it.
good. I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, we're good.
Damn, you tower over me.
Which way do I have to look? I have to look this way.
Let's see.
What you looking at, boy?
Oh, this is good. This is good. I like this.
No squares indeed.
Boom.
ooh,
Huh?
what you got going on over there, Big Daddy?
I'll have to get closer to my camera just to get to your size here. Oh my god. Anyway, okay.
My head looks fucking massive. It's great. I love it.
But anyway, maybe I can like move your name over a little bit, I suppose. Okay, cool. What do you guys think? That's pretty cool, huh?
I like it. I like it.
It's a new shift. I don't know. We'll see. I know like this was a little, it's a little, you know, you're focused on like the left side of the screen, which is kind of weird. Usually I have like a lot of videos playing in the background, but I wanted you guys to focus on us, so I ended up making this. So now you guys can focus, you know, it's more natural, you know? But anyway, what were we talking about? BF4 being terrible, right? I think.
Yes,
like that?
yes. You're
Okay.
you're explaining your traumatic experience with the immersion of BF4 and how it crashed servers and kicked everybody out because it was
Yeah,
godlike and you
it was awful for
simple
sure.
humans could not observe and hear it. They kicked
No
you out.
squares. Oh god. We'll
No
figure out
squares. Oh yes.
Okay, so we're talking about ranks. So any ideas pop up in your head? Would you, for Battlefield 6, let's say it started and it did the rank 0 to 50 again, right? Would you be cool with that for like 3 months and then kick it up to like 150 and then
Yes.
another 3 months, 200, another 3 months, 500?
Yes, absolutely. But the problem is, I don't know if I'm just so beaten down by the current state of Battlefield, BF5, namely, that I would just take anything. Yes, okay, 3 months is not too bad. Please give it to me. You know what I mean? Like it's just something different that's not whatever the fuck BF5 did to Battlefield. But let's you know, I hate. I'm shitting on the game. I do love the game. I promise. It's just it's infuriating what they've done to their own game. Like you know, yes, I would like the ranking system to progress at a reasonable level. You know, I stream it. You know, I streamed regularly 6 days a week. I think at that time when the game first came out, including when the beta came out. Yeah, they have EA access or whatever, and then I had the first 10 hours of the beta, and actually transitioned right into the day of the release of the game. So it was pretty cool. So I logged a whole lot of hours in the first week and a half. It wasn't even a week and a half, and I was already level 50. And you know that's okay. Was grinding the shit out of that. So 3 months would be reasonable to me to say okay, even if they just bumped up to 100. And if they,
Mm.
you know, if they kind of planned it out, like say they didn't want to overstep, like oh we probably can go 150, but then we wouldn't have anything for people to progress to fill in this stopgap, you know, because we're going to develop this for the next, you know, fine, do it. And even 25, I don't give a shit. Give me something,
yeah.
something at all to look forward to. You know, this last update with the new guns and stuff like that, for you know, as far as content's concerned, the new maps, I like them. I like
Yeah.
them a lot. And you know, some of the streamers drop by and say, "Hey, so what do you think?" You know, in chat, you know, is this gonna really help revive Battlefield? I said, well, if there was more coming, yes, but this is it.
Duh.
This is it. So you know, to me, it was, you know, it would be a step in the right direction. Okay, it's pretty solid. Is everything perfect? No, but I don't expect it to be perfect. I don't expect perfection. I expect the game to fucking work. I expect it when I shoot somebody for it to register, and that just doesn't happen. So you know, some of the basic, you know, I don't know if you can show the skins. Was it Elise or whatever, the one skin? It was like one of the Halloween skins or whatever. She has
Oh,
the
yeah,
dark cloak and all
yeah.
that. That skin from release still has hit registration issues. So I said, fuck it. And I equipped it. And that's what I use in comp now because it's not banned or anything yet. So, you know, they're just kind of letting it roll. So but they said they fixed it. How many patches did they say they fixed the fucking things? And they didn't. They didn't. Did we fix the patch? Yeah, we fixed the guy. No, they didn't fix shit. They just didn't fucking, they said, you know, we fixed it, guys. Don't worry about it. And they just moved along as if it had actually been fixed. Like, you know, I have so many clips of like a ZH29 or a fucking Moss 44 just lighting up some motherfucker, like, and I'm like on stream like, like what? Why? You know, switching to every weapon, then you shoot a, you know, throw a dynamite at them, and if dynamite gets 30 hit on a fucking person, you know, infantry when they're 5 feet away from you, it's like, oh god damn it, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm outskilling this guy 1,000 times and I can't even get the fucking kill. And I don't stab people. I have 130,000 kills and I have 150 knife kills or whatever, because I just can't stand knifing because it never works for me. But, you know, and maybe I'll try and go knife them and that'll fail too. I'll stab the shit out of them or whatever, and they'll turn on me and kill me anyway. I'm like, what the fuck am I playing this goddamn game for? I don't fucking get it. And then the ItalianSuperBeast is, you know, angry. So,
hell yeah, dude.
Hey, if that in a nutshell explains to anybody what it's been like. It's been the same. It's been the same throughout the entire game. We fixed it. No, you didn't. Please stop saying that you fixed it, because you didn't. You know, and I stopped paying attention to the patch notes because you just got to feel it out. Well, they didn't fix that yet. Oh, they said they fixed it. No. I just played the fucking game and they said this was gone. It's not. No.
Wow. I don't know what it was like with the whole patch situation on Xbox or PlayStation, but looks like you guys went through some unique shit. I didn't even know about that. From that elite soldier has hitbox registration issues. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So which part of her was the problem?
The whole, I don't know if it was necessarily a specific area. Big Brother Stevie, I don't know if you could help me out on that, but I think it was just it was just buggy. Like, it would be, you know, literally hit or miss. You'd be shooting center mass, headshots, whatever, and you'd see blood spray off their head, no hit marker, no damage. Blood spray, nothing. Okay, I only have 11 rounds. I just put 5 rounds into this thing with a Moss 44 or something like that. And, you know, and I know there's 3 other enemies around the corner. Usually I'm kind of planning ahead. You know, I'm playing chess. I'm going to take out this clown because he's looking at me. These 2 guys are occupied somewhere else, but I'm going to drop, you know, 3-4 shots in this guy, take him out, including a headshot, you know, blood spray. Okay, that's a good start. Wait a second. No damage. Okay, let me go center mass. I don't want to waste more shots potentially going for the head. Let me go center mass. And you go center mass and 3 more shots. 2 of those 3 shots actually land, and then you get killed. And it's like, I should already be planning to kill the other 2 people that are around the corner, but I can't. I have to address this fucking clown who can't hit the broadside of a guy. He's got a Lewis gun. He's fucking, you know, drawing me, you know, in the mountain behind me because he's missing every goddamn shot he's got anyway. Or maybe it's not. Maybe the hit reg is fucked up for him too. Who the fuck knows? Maybe they're amaze balls and they just can't hit their shots either, and you could never fucking tell. So
I think there's just issues across the board for Battlefield 5 when it comes to hit detection. I mean, look at did you try the new gun that came out, the A31 sniper? Like, the 6 time doesn't even register. Yeah,
I heard it was a pile of shit, and I have not. I think that's like the only gun I haven't used yet, because the show is fucking ridiculous. Or Chow Chat, I always call it Chow Chat. The well gun and was the well rod. I don't know if I used well rod.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Yeah, so, you know, all those guns seem to be pretty consistent. So I mean, you know, that's why I was kind of like, oh yeah, it's a nice positive update. But, you know, the hit registration doesn't seem to be the same, and even for consoles specifically, because people will apparently the hit registration is much better on PS4 than an Xbox.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, but I feel like if comp was more prevalent on PC, which is it's not, it's completely dead. It's always been dead. But on console, you guys compete all the time. I see you on the battlefield all the time. A lot of people in this chat always competing in matches where 8v8 is most of the time, you would say 8v8.
Yeah, and we discussed that very briefly, and we were talking about topics to discuss beforehand. My introduction to comp was I wanted to stream Battlefield 5, and I was streaming it. TTV tags, of course. And and so comp was going to be Frontlines. You know, they were going to say, okay, we'll do Conquest and Frontlines, but let's see how many people we can get into these leagues to see if we can do a 32v32. Okay, great. Frontlines was a great setup. Great, you know, straight on, head on. You need to be, your gun skill has to be good. You have to have positioning. You have to have rats. You have to, you know, plan ahead. You have to. I mean, it's a good way of playing the game and really showing what your team has. And there's great fucking 3 hour fucking back and forth on front lines and whatever. And halfway through the first season that I was in, they pulled the plug on Frontlines. They discontinued it from the fucking playlist. So literally just murdered the comp scene with one swift move. Frontline's gone. Okay, we were supposed to play a match that night, and they just fucking gone. Frontline's gone. I'm like, okay, well there goes the comp. So then a majority of the comp players left, and that was, I mean, shit. What was that, a year ago when they removed Frontlines?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that was gonna be,
Temporary game mode.
when RSP came back out, we were able to play Frontline. So some people, kind of gradually went in. There's a lot more pretty much casual, or casual platoons or milsims, stuff like that. They're more prevalent, but I mean, you're not going to get the high, top tier, real competitive, gun skill, fucking, out of this world type of thing that you're going to get like you normally would, like you should have had in BF5, like we had when Frontline season first came out, but they murdered it. And it became Squad Conquest, to answer your question. So we're playing, our scrims are T8 Squad Conquest and T6s, and that's gross. That's not what I was. It's not what I became comp for, and it made you definitely have to up your fucking gun skill because you're not going to have any fucking help there. You know what I mean? I mean, you can, I have a little bit above a 4KD right now in pubs anyway, and when you bring that over to competitive, it's like, okay, well, there's no better example of when you're going to need to kill 4 people because the chance is pretty good. When you engage one person, there's going to be 3 other guys there right up your ass because it's an 8-on-8, and a lot of the maps are very, very, the 3 lanes. They got the middle lane, high lane, low lane, whatever. So there's not many, I mean, other than camping in a corner or using some head glitch or whatever.
So other than Frontlines, what is your ideal game mode? You want like a search and destroy kind of thing, or rush? Is Frontlines your ideal, or
Yeah. I really liked Frontlines. I mean, I do like the idea of conquest, but I didn't really have any experience. I played, I think, one conquest, scrim, that we had to combine with another team because we didn't have enough people. There's not enough people on, BF5. So, I mean,
Gotcha.
I mean, I can see in chat. I mean, it's not that I hate Squad Conquest. It's just I was so excited to play competitive Frontlines that Squad Conquest is not Frontline. It's so fucking different. So, I mean, I learned a lot more.
Not
I
even
learned a lot more
close.
about headquarters and stuff. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean, but so Squad Conquest was a good substitution. But so until RSP came along and whatever, but it wasn't what I'd planned on playing. So that right there kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit from the get when it came to Battlefield Comp and then NBF5 in general. So, for being
We'll
excited
see,
about
man. I'm hoping for Frontlines to be a main or even updated for Battlefield 6 coming up.
better.
If the Battlefield 3 remaster comes out, there was no Frontlines. So I don't even know. Would you even play the BF3 remaster? I never asked you that question.
At this point, yes. I mean, I don't know if we talked dates. Do you know a date for BF3?
It's sometime this year. Apparently, it's just a rumor. Let's just say it is coming out.
Okay, yeah. So,
There's no
so if we
way.
say for some reason it comes out before the end of this year or at the end of this year, yes, absolutely. I would be interested in playing that. I mean, it would be something new and exciting, even though it's fucking old.
Yeah,
But
no, it definitely
it'd be
would.
something new for Battlefield that wasn't glitchy, hit reg issue ridden pile of shit.
So BF3 was known for Rush, big time Rush, right after Bad Company 2. Would that be your go-to for comp, perhaps?
Perhaps. I mean,
Or
that's what
Frontlines?
I can't remember. Was it a full 32 on 32 for Rush? And I
I
can't
believe so. Absolutely. Yep.
I can't remember exactly. It was like I can't remember if it was an odd number, like a 20 on 20 or something like that. But I mean, it's so at this point, it's so fucking long ago. But I mean, yeah, absolutely. If we had the numbers, I mean, really, the reason why we went down the squad conquest stuff like that is because we didn't have the numbers to support a frontline season, even though it wasn't an option at the time, or conquest, something like that. So I mean, if we had full teams that stayed there, so some platoons have a couple hundred people and they can't put up 8 for a fucking squad conquest room. So
Jeez.
I mean, it just happens. So if we had the numbers of people who are actually interested in the game and people who are good at the game, stuff like that, and have, not just one monstrous team just slaying fucking everybody, that kind of just murders everybody. Let's have the season. Well, if that team comes in, they're just gonna murder everybody. So
Yeah,
nobody else has a chance.
it's gonna be crazy going back in time and playing a remaster. That'll be the first time ever, I think, in Battlefield history. Otherwise, if you call, like, I don't know, Battlefield 5 a remaster of 1942, which you cannot, that is illegal to say that. But because they went back to, World War II, but no, you can't say that.
Mhm.
But it'll be first time if they actually release it as the title, Battlefield 3 remastered or whatever. That'll be very interesting to go back to. I don't know how I
Yeah.
would handle myself after that. There's a lot of crazy shit in that game, and a lot of things that are missing that we definitely would want, because we've been spoiled over the last 7 years or something.
Sure. Fair enough, but at the same time, I mean, hopefully people should, if you're gonna be reasonable, if it's a remaster, then that doesn't mean like an overhaul that they do everything over, right? They usually don't add
Uh,
things. They just kind of, this is what it was. Now it's packaged as for the new console, new graphics and that kind
New
of thing.
graphics. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, that would be great, but people have to look at it through that lens and say, okay, I remember some of these things being broken, and let's play BF3. It's not a brand new game. Let's play BF3. So as long as people looked at it like that, I think it'd be pretty successful. But sometimes you have to consider who you're dealing with when you're talking to
Okay.
normal
What
humans.
What if they did? Let's see. So I didn't want to lose the whole ranking system thing. I wanted to go back to that real quick.
Sure.
Um, First off, it would be totally cool, with you if they had a max rank of 500 right off the bat, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be fucking great. Like if they had the ability to prepare and have that just ready to go, that'd be great. Um and I don't really see the downside. There's only gonna be, I mean, think of the percentage of the population that would actually really grind that out. Like there's gonna be a couple thousand guys that are really trying to be number one at that, the first
Yeah,
one to hit
they
that
know
rank.
what's gonna be low. They know.
Yeah, so I mean, so the rest of them aren't going to do that. So what's the downside of that? Especially make it deep enough. Make it the BF5 version. I mean, EK Energized Knight. He still hasn't. He's like level 474 or something like that. And that guy, he's got 2,600 hours I think in the game, 1,000 more than I have, and he's still not there yet. So I mean, is that not good enough for the people in the game? Well, I mean, I guess a large chunk of that is going to be stuck at level 50, of course, which we covered earlier. So I wonder how many hours he would have less if it just went right through. But I mean, there's still not a lot of people that are really going to grind out straight through to that. They're still going to, as long as there's new content coming out, say, hey, here's something for you to feast on in the meantime. You can literally just grind out, ranking up, assuming that assignments and stuff like that are working correctly. Or there's maybe, the care packages that you open up and you get the 25% boost or whatever, like they had in BF4, those kind of things. Little things to kind of,
Yeah,
a
those are
double
illegal
XP
now.
week,
Those are
double
illegal
XP
now.
weekends. Oh, really? Oh, that's right.
The loot boxes.
See,
They can't have loot boxes.
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. I forgot about that.
I would love
So
rewards. Yeah, what about rewards? Well, the first, like, let's say 1 to 50 or 0 to 50, definitely I should have a fuck ton of rewards, like, new attachments, new skins, all that kind of stuff. Like, or do you want that consistent throughout? Because that's what I'm thinking is maybe like maybe not super consistent, but I mean a little less perhaps. But I want something to unlock at like the rank 500, and other than stupid company coin. Like, come on.
yeah, it was the Maxeek or whatever on YouTube, whatever he hit that the level rank 500, and they gave him some boins or some shit. It was their company coins. I forget what they gave him, but it was
Yeah,
something.
it's like a dog
Just
tag
it,
and
was
company
it was a
coins.
very Dice thing or a very EA thing to do. Just here you go. I'm like, okay, that's perfect. Now they just shut down everybody else who was trying to reach that rank. Like, fuck it, I'll just go play some Roblox.
Yeah.
But I forgot I was going with that. But one thing, I mean, what would change day-to-day Battlefield would be the after game summary. The breakdown they used to
Yeah.
have for the after game summary, show the revives every time, show the assists you got every time. Every time,
Yeah.
the basic shit. One of the best things they did ever, sidebar, because that I do some real tangential. but the
All good.
75% assist counts as kill. Perfect. The amount of fucking kills that I would get robbed of every goddamn, like 99 fucking hit. I didn't get the goddamn, somebody else is stealing the fucking kill. You get your buddies always looking over your shoulder and taking that last shot to kill whoever it
I
is.
don't remember what
And
game it was that actually changed that. Was that Battlefield 3 that changed that?
I think it must have been BF4. It must have been BF4 because
BF4.
well,
This was like
I
midway in
feel
one
like
of
it
the
was BF4.
games. I don't remember. The assist counts as kill was like a new patch thing,
Yeah.
new change, but I don't remember what game it was. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Seth? How's it going, man? Texco, good to have you guys. Welcome here to the Battlefield show. We're talking here with ItalianSuperBeast. We have a new little layout, as you can see. Hey. We're right next to each other, kind of thing now. Maybe a better glimpse. Look out! But yeah, we're just talking some Battlefield here. If you guys got any questions, definitely put them in the chat. If you guys want to bring up a topic or something, go for it. Here. Yeah, put some questions in the chat. We'll definitely answer them and welcome again. Okay, so let's talk more about competitive play. So you started in Battlefield 1 for Frontlines, and
Battlefield 5.
Oh, you never played Battlefield 1 Frontlines?
I did play Battlefield 1 Frontlines, but I played it. I did not start playing anything competitively until Battlefield 5.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So your team SF, right?
That's my current team, yes. Skyfall.
Okay, Skyfall. So how was that experience for you so far in Battlefield 5? Can you go through like what you guys went through, or like your record and how you guys set things up? Kind of want to learn a little bit more about that.
Sure. Yeah, there's I mean, to go through everything would be rough, but as far as my history, I started off on I was playing Frontlines, and one of the team generals hit me up. Or no, it was Creeped. I don't know if you know Creeped. He used to stream Battlefield 5.
Yeah.
He hit me up and said, "Hey man, you want to join some competitive platoon?" And since I was in streaming stuff like that, I'm like, I could add a different angle. Fuck it, and I'm interested to learn some more of the game. And I didn't know how much I really would learn. How much more useful that smokes are for competitive play, and anchoring. If you're last man of the squad, how important that is to fucking anchor. Just basic shit like that you really can learn that'll change the game entirely. So you don't have to fucking spawn on a point and run all the way across the map or to wherever you were trying to do get to in the first place. But I started on Apex Predators, and we were not a very good team. As myself, actually, Energized Knight was there with me as well. I'm trying to think if anybody else was. You guys know their names, but when we'd play some teams, PT Prototype, they're not that good of a team now, boys. If any of you guys are out there right now, but the first time I played them, like I went 14-7 or something like that. But it was something okay. I'm like, all right, guys. Let's get this going. Like I remember it vividly. Okay, where everybody's chatting, talking about what the game plan is, stuff like that. It was Frontlines on Eris or Aras, however you want to say it. And I was like, all right, we're right flank, and we're there on the point. We get a little bit of movement, but there's not that many enemies on point, and we realize it's more of a slow play. What they're doing is wrapping around wider than we are. So it went from everybody chatting and commenting where things were and stuff like that to almost dead silence. Like there was almost nothing. For the first scrim that I played in against PT, it lasted 45 minutes, 3 maps of Frontlines, 45 minutes. So that was based hard. You couldn't even, you spawned, you're getting shot from every goddamn direction. And throughout, as the leagues and stuff like that progressed, they took out SARs. You couldn't use SARs and stuff like that because so many things that are there's ridiculously OP. You had to dial back because it was just insane, especially with guys with gun skill those next levels. So but I remember just the comms going quiet. You can hear shit. And I'm like, hey guys, so where they at? Are you down? Do you need help? Do you fucking are they left side? Where's their fucking tank? Like, what is our tank down? Somebody say fucking something. Excuse me. And it was just dead silent. I remember, myself and EK playing off each other, and we played off each other really well within squad. Following up on each other's kills and finish, team shooting, stuff like that. And then, but that was it. I'm like, all right, right side, second story, whatever, second story, right window, whatever, and you call it out, and they're just, slaying motherfuckers. But then I was like, everybody else is dead. What do we do against this, 16-man team? I think at that point, and it was pretty, it was pretty deafening quiet.
You
So
guys,
that team got dissolved, and we package dealed ourselves to a better team, Skyfall. So that's how I got there.
so once you got to Skyfall, were you guys eyeing out for a specific clan that was on your level and you wanted to beat the shit out of them, or any
Um,
rivalries, I suppose, or just kind of wanted to get in on it and didn't matter who you guys were up against?
yeah, I mean, I just wanted to play. I just wanted to just
Okay.
compete. I didn't care. I mean, after that first scrim, I went through PTs like the starting roster they had. I took a screenshot of it or looked at my stream because I streamed it.
Uh-huh.
And looked up all their gamer tags, and their KD, the average KD was probably like a 4.3
Oh,
on
God.
that. So I'm like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. I mean, and I was like a 3.3 or something like that, and I was like just below the highest on our team at that time, and it was like, ooh, it was like no shit. Some of these guys have 8 KDs and shit like that. It's like, oh my god, like what the fuck is like this is like I'm like, okay, but that's okay. I want to play against better people. This is what I'm here for. It's what I want to fucking learn. I want to compete. I don't mind being on the underdog team either. Like I don't care. I don't necessarily want to be on the team that just steamrolls people either. So I mean, Skyfall when we joined it was pretty much like upper middle tier. And so we can compete with the better teams, but chances are there was a couple teams that would just steamroll everybody. PG, Point Gap,
Point Gap.
Slothy,
Yep.
if you're familiar with him, he came
Yes.
from in that team, and they had so just a stacked Martese Bro is on PG as well. Just you didn't have a chance. This PT was just gonna every angle right up your ass. If you killed 3 out of the 4 guys, the fourth guy was going to kill you because
Wow.
unless you were absolutely immaculate, flawless, perfect at landing headshots to kill those first 3 guys, you didn't have a chance the fourth one because you're already being shot and dead. Chances are you maybe killed one of them. So it was pretty ridiculous. And PT and CSL, it was pretty much PG, PT, and CSL were all the best teams at that time. PG's gone, dissolved by now. PT's got their own issues. They're kind of falling apart a little bit, but they're still there, and a lot of good people around there.
I mean, it's not
It's Osama.
surprising.
It's
It's
Osama
not
was on there.
surprise. It's not surprising too, because you know the dev team, they don't give a shit about you guys or even helping. Give you tools for RSP. Apparently, they're gonna give you guys something, but at this time, it's like they already announced the end of the game. No more content.
Mhm.
So, but you're gonna get new private or community games updates coming up. I mean, it's like, God, dude, like talk about a little late, don't you think, for something as important as that? You know, I think that would have
Yeah.
helped you guys quite a bit. But I understand why. I'm surprised you guys even did so much. You played competitively so much. You had shoutcasters. How often did you guys do this? For like, is it once a week or how long did this go for? Were you guys surprised by that?
You mean is how regular were the seasons, like
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
seasons and stuff? Semi-regular. Like after they murdered the frontline season, everybody was kind of like on their heels, like,
Oh, okay,
what the
okay.
fuck do we do now? And then some people were like, oh, we can do squad conquest. I'm like, what the fuck is squad conquest? Like I hadn't even
Oh
played it
shit.
before. I'm like, what is an 8v8? I'm like, what the hell is the point of that?
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
so but it was and my first experience with RSP, by the way, or needing RSP, my first experience on Skyfall. We played AOTG, middle, lower middle level team at the time. They're all but pretty much disbanded at this point right now. Um, I was in queue for 2 hours and 15 minutes
What?
because my whole team made it in except for me, and their whole team made it in, and we were playing Frontlines at that time. That was the tournament. It may have been Scrim. I think it was the tournament. Right before they murdered the Frontlines off of BF5 entirely.
Yeah.
Um, and I was in queue because one of the pubs, one of the blueberries wouldn't leave. He wouldn't leave. Countless messages or whatever. Hey guys, be nice to him. They don't have to leave or whatever. We just need him to leave, so be nice or whatever. That guy stayed there for an hour and 45 minutes, getting his shit kicked in. The guy he went like 3 and 16 or some shit. But that fucking cunt was gonna sit in there. Excuse the language. he was gonna be in that game until the very end, so I couldn't be in there. So after 2 hours and 15 minutes, I loaded in to the into the one side of the map, and we ended up winning the match because of it. But I'm like, man, I mean that 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm like, I'm a enough of a dumbass to stay in the queue for that long in the first place. And I streamed it. I was like, this was me
I don't know how you guys put up with
competing
that.
in Battlefield.
That is
Just sitting there.
that is unacceptable, you know, and for developers not to give you tools for that, even though they've been doing it for decades now, is just they don't want you around. Like this is not important to us or anything. But then when they see their player numbers dwindle, their communities dwindle, most of the communities, the big ones, have competition teams. Almost all of them. Yeah.
Well, shit. There's still people still play Halo competitively. They still go back and play Halo 3 or whatever. So like random tournaments they'll have. I mean, I don't know if Halo 3 in particular, but I mean that they'll still play those type of games. So this
Right.
I mean, in theory, if they fix it at some point, but are enough people going to care? I mean, they literally stop the content. I mean, are people really going to care?
No.
You know.
No, not if there's like a BF3 remaster. That's for damn sure. But or even a Battlefield 6. Yeah, all they need to understand that communities are the bread and butter of Battlefield, and it's always been like that. And people need to have a home. Skyfall needs a home. Skyfall needs a private server. This is like day one. Hey, come on, wake up. We got money to make, or we got prizes to win. We got scrims to do. This should be there day one. And hopefully, I mean, the last guest I talked to, Brett FX, who does a lot of shoutcasting. I think a lot of shoutcasting for you guys too. I don't know, but he mentioned that the RSP that we have now should be for, like, the way it was designed, it should be for all next coming Battlefield games at launch. So that's a good sign. Yeah. I hope that's the case. I don't know for sure, but that's the way they want it to be designed as. And damn, dude, I really think this needs, it needs to be a focus, dude, because you guys you guys put your heart and souls into this stuff. This is a passion, and to be like just shit on for 2 years, not giving two shits about you guys,
and be the guy streaming it. Say, I want to make a future of this. I want to promote your game. I want this to be what makes me money. Okay. And then they just said, I mean, guys like Energized Knight that streams this fucking game 6 days a week, 8 hours a day or whatever it is, that's really grinding out. And motherfucker takes gun requests and he's still got almost a 4KD. So, I mean, people give him the shittiest guns or whatever. And that dude, I mean, they dropped in and gave him, 150 codes to give out. After the pandemic started, I want to say. So I mean,
yeah, the pandemic giveaways. Wow, I'm super impressed.
It was great. So much attention. It was so nice. And they dropped him, like, I think they gave him like 50 subs, something like that.
So compassionate.
It felt so cheap, and it didn't even happen to me. I'm almost glad it didn't, because I'd be like, ugh.
Same.
And I'm glad EK got it. He's a fucking fantastic streamer, and teammate, by the way. And I'm glad that he was somebody who received it. It wasn't some just low-level clown that is probably like, a brother of the dev somewhere or something like that just started streaming. So that was nice. But I mean, I was like, oh God, I mean, now they're going to give away free copies. But my problem is I play devil's advocate often in my head. I can't not do it. So my thought was, and it actually came out in a conversation with Energized Knight, I said, you know what? This is probably like a tax write-off. Like they gave those away, but they, like, oh, this could be a business transaction tax write-off because we're losing our ass right now. Let's give away codes. And I said, yeah, I mean, 50, 60 bucks for a thing, but they're not even going to it doesn't even take that much for them to make a game. They can just get in the disc. And EK goes, dude, they're codes. It's just a fucking download. It costs them nothing. And they're probably going to write off the full cost of the game. I'm like, that's exactly. I'm like, oh, it's so gross. I'm like, it makes so much business sense. But it feels so cheap and gross. I'm like, oh, you assholes! You didn't do that because you wanted people to, play your game. You did it because you're a bunch of fucking assholes that were thinking about your bottom line when you couldn't even follow through on the things you promised, let alone look to the future and supporting the game.
And
Ugh,
you being in queue for 2 hours and 15 minutes just to scrim. Like, that's abhorrent. That is terrible. Has that ever happened in another Battlefield game? No, because there's always tools. Well, maybe BF1, like, probably. Well, never mind. In the beginning, there's like 3 months of no RSP at all. But anyway, that pissed off a lot of people. Regardless, that was, oh man, dude, the game changers back then when they had massive communities and they didn't have that at launch. Oh, they let them have it good. And then
which they would deserve it. How the fuck are you going to promise something and then just
they forced them to put RSP in BF1. Oh boy.
Right. Well, and how about this? How about not only promising it, but then delaying the game? Let's delay the game and get it to where it really should be. And I said, you know what? Good. I'm glad they're delaying. I can't remember if they delayed.
It was a month delay for BF5, right?
Yes. So I'm like, you know what? That pisses me off, but good. Get the game straight. Don't release a broken fucking product. And I legit called, talked to an attorney, a friend of mine, about those practices of releasing a game that's broken as fuck. It's like, dude, we're paying this money and trying to play a game and it's broken as fuck. And he said to me straight, and it makes perfect logical sense. He goes, well, will they give you your money back? I said, well, yeah. He goes, when there's no way to do a lawsuit. He goes, you know what I mean? Because like if it has to be like a class action type thing against a huge corporation like that, and could you really sue them for promising all of this, delaying it, and then fucking everybody over? I mean, that feels almost cheap, but I mean, you want to have some type of accountability, some way to get back at him. Like, dude, what the fuck? And to answer that, I think would just be, everybody should not pre-order BF6. That should be enough of a fucking thing. But I want the game to succeed though too. So that's that's where I'm kind of caught between. I want them to learn their lesson. Which if they don't learn the lesson after BF5, I mean, good God, I mean, what would fucking help them?
That's definitely a new low. What's up, Del Tara? Welcome on in there. But yeah, I hope it doesn't. It's got to be their day one, man. I know a few prominent YouTubers have put those videos out constantly saying has to be done. This is just how things work in Battlefield. Even on PC, we have like special tools and whatnot to like administrate our servers, moderate our servers. I mean. And get things done. If there's a cheater running around or we need to switch some teams up, bam, easy. And it keeps people playing, right? Less time waiting, more time fragging, So it's just a win-win for them. All they gotta do is make those tools. I don't know why they wanted to get rid of that. It was so bizarre. They wanted a new cinematic direction, apparently. That's all they wanted from their Battlefield games, I guess. But look at their player numbers now.
And to your point about tools, what better self-promotion than YouTube videos of guys fucking around like a Stone Mountain or guys like that or whatever that need RSP to just fuck around in the maps. Let's play around on this map. Let's try and do some weird stunts or whatever. You can do whatever you want, but you have to try and pull those off in a server somewhere, and it gets a little more difficult. So, but if you could just go into there with your friends and fuck around, it kind of makes me think of the first taste of playing against bots and shit like that was Perfect Dark. You set a whole bunch of bots and you could just play for hours. You get 5,000 kills or whatever, and just play and set which guns they could use, what skill level the simulants were, and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun. You just play it for hours and hours and hours, and it didn't affect your stats or anything like that. I mean, there's no stats in Perfect Dark, but I mean, you get the point. I mean, you could fuck around with your friends on that. What I did for Black Ops, every time there was a new map, if they came out for new games, I would go into custom mode and walk the map. Here's the pinch points. This is where I'm going to rack up a lot of kills. This is where a fucking MMG would be disgusting. This is where you could play some dynamite and be hilarious. For team walkthroughs, shit. If you're going to have a competitive game, what's be great? Let's all log in and walk the fucking map. Okay, guys, this head glitch is a power position. You want this power position has to have the FG42. You have to cover this. This has to be on this side of the map or whatever, and just go a basic walkthrough, basic shit that you cannot go over. without having to do we coined it the ghetto RSP. But then you only had until the timer ran out to figure all these things out. You really couldn't test much. So,
But you
and then it all counted
guys,
against your stats.
all the comp people on PC tried, but all of you guys, you persisted, despite them saying no. We designed this game for you not to be doing this, but you persisted. Why did you guys persist in setting up competition matches, even though there was no tools or barely any to do so?
I didn't have a taste of BF1 comp, but I think everybody enjoyed it so much, and I guess BF4 comp as well. That it really kept
Absolutely.
people. Some people just really like that grind. Even, I mean, when I started playing competitive Battlefield, I figured for sure there'd be like a minimum, a minimum score per minute, which will vary from game to game, of course, but a
Sure.
KD, a minimum KD, like a 2 KD in an Xbox or in BFI, we'll say like a 500 score per minute. That's in order to get on this team, you need to be at least that good or something like that. And it was nothing like that at all, because some people are just really good at strats. You know what I mean? They can hold a head glitch just fine. Like, but in everyday pub situations or whatever, maybe they just grind it out. Maybe they're going for the kills per minute. Maybe they're trying to get 3 kills per minute, so their KD's you know what I mean? But they're really trying to grind it out. They might have a 2 KD, but they'd be a fucking badass in comp. You know what I mean? There's plenty of
Sure.
guys that are really good competitively. If you look at their stats, you're like, that guy? Really? You're gonna say that guy? Like, dude, he'll fucking rip your goddamn face off and your whole fucking team. You'd be like, what the hell happened? That guy did this. So if you're gonna underestimate somebody on their stats, that you can't really base it off of that. But I figured for sure that it was more of an inclusive environment than I thought it would be for sure. I thought it would only be skilled players and they would just have their own set of skills. Is all it ended up being. So I mean that was the interesting part. I think that's why, because people just stuck with it. They're like, okay, the BF4 effect, it'll get better. Well, they were promising RSP for however fucking long they promised
Yes.
it for. We're gonna have this out, whatever. So we'll stay practiced. We'll keep on scrimming, because I mean, if you're gonna hold a team together and not want, I mean, a whole bunch of guys went over to COD. Some guys switched to fucking PC. A lot of guys went over to PS4 because their comp scene was much more was thriving a little better. They had maybe more luck with doing the ghetto RSP. But it was something to look forward to. Like BF4, because of that, to me, in my opinion, that had us looking forward, saying, okay, things are gonna get better. We'll have RSP and we'll be fucking on the ground running. And as soon as RSP was released, it was all limited options, and it was so
And they took maps. There's some maps that were bugged or something, and that like halted your guys' progression. I remember talking to brother Steve about that. A few of the maps got buggy, and they like got rid of them. So there are no good maps available for squad conquest or something. That was frustrating.
yeah, I can't
But
remember
no,
exactly which ones they were off the top of my head.
yeah, but
But
the
yeah, I do.
developer,
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Because those are some of the best maps. Fuck, I
yeah,
can't. Wish I'd remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that had a major effect on it.
Rotterdam.
So it's like every time, like we're fighting so hard to keep comp alive. And
Oh
Stevie
yeah,
commented, we'll do 3 or 4 comp, uh, what do you call it, scrims a week or whatever.
Scrims,
And
yeah.
sometimes where T6 came out, Team 6 Squad Conquest came from was, okay, guys, we don't always have enough players. Could we do a T6 tournament? And the answer was yes. Okay, fuck it. So it's a three, 2 squads of 3 or however you want to work it. And it was a different angle, just to keep it alive. Let's transform it so we can keep teams in it, keep scrimming, keep getting things going. But then you had to do the fucking, ghetto RSP. And by the time you got the RSP, then they took maps out. It's like, fuck, dude, we're trying so hard. And you're like, no. And you just
Yeah,
fucking take this out of the game. Take this, like, oh,
God, I'm so glad he came onto the program. Dude, the Dice developers need to hear stuff like this, man. Uh, they need to know that there's passionate people out there that want to just play competitively. Build communities. Uh, I don't know why they turn a blind side to you guys on that. It's really heartbreaking to think about that. That even though there's kind of like that false sense of hope, you know,
yeah. Oh, man.
that
Brutal,
sucks,
brutal.
bro. And to
That's
think
kind of like the
like,
perfect anecdote to my life, by the way. But
yeah, that's shit. That's shit. That's unacceptable. And it shouldn't this shouldn't happen anymore for sure. But hey, what if they say no again? Are you gonna get the point this time, Super Beast? And all your teams? What if there's no RSP? No, we don't want competition in our games anymore. Like,
Well, I mean,
will you
even
guys
saying
still?
it almost feels embarrassing talking to a PC gamer who streams BF5 like yourself and saying competitive Battlefield. And it's like there's a chuckle there. I mean, it's complicated for PC, I'm sure, because of the hackers, or maybe that the scene was so dead for so long, or whatever, what have you. But it's like, you're not going to get a sponsor. I mean, the whole thing was you wanted to clean Discord. Your team Discord. All right, guys. I mean, it's basic concept anyway. Don't think it goes on rampant necessarily, but keep it the basic stream principles. A lot of times, don't do anything racist or homophobic. Don't go overtly sexual. Don't put porn in the team Discord, because you'd like to be sponsored. The sponsor's going to want to come in and whatever and offer you guys something or whatever. But the game was just so dead before it even got moving. Releasing the game that I paid, $68 worth of fuckers for the deluxe version, and the day after it was released, or a week after, whatever, it was $35 to download. I'm like, what the fuck was that? I mean, it was just a kick in the dick from the very get. I'm like, you know what, fuck it. This is gonna be a good game. We'll be grinding it out. I'm streaming. This is a lot of fun. So, but it
Competition is
was
from is grassroots, dude. Always. Look at BF3, dude. There was major tournaments going on for BF3. $1 million tournament showed up and never happened. But people still competed, still made teams, still had tournaments, and that was without the spectator mode. They had no spectator mode. They had and literally hack the game. I just learned this last episode to get a free cam to look around to see what was going on. That's how persistent competitive groups are to just play on their favorite franchise. And they still don't get that? That's crazy.
Yeah, well, especially when you promise it ahead of time. Okay, guys, let's get this going, because by the time this rolls out, got it. Okay, we'll make money. We can figure out how to. I mean, at this point, we're throwing our own money to win for prize pools. It's like, $1,000 gets rewarded to a 32 person team for that fucking, like, you know what I mean? It's something. It's great. It's something to look forward to. It's kind of like putting a $5 bet on a round of golf or something like that. I mean, it's not really going to make you any money. It's just fun to try and get something, and you get the accolades, if you will, and the title. Like, we're world champions and squad conquest T8s for the whatever season. You know what I mean? So that's all you get. But I'd be fine with that. Just make it work, please. Just make it work.
Yeah, and for Battlefield 6, and they don't do any of that. They kind of like do the same thing for Battlefield 5. I mean, are you guys still going to persist?
I would say flat out no. I mean, the amount of people, because a lot of the better, the reason why it wasn't so much one team cleaning up all the rest of the teams, because everybody got so disheartened. I mean, what's the point of being the best at a dead game?
Yeah,
like, I will fucking
that's why I
rip
asked
you a
the
new one
question
all day, every day. But this game means dick to the developers, and they could not care less for anything that goes on moving forward. So why should I bother investing literally investing your time? I mean, it's a thought ahead of time. Let's invest our time. Let's build a team. Let's get skilled players. Let's get people that can play well together, so we can win tournaments, get sponsors, whatever. Even if it's just free gear, or fucking whoever, the guy who does the best gets an elite controller, something like that, just to look forward to. And they just rip the guts out of fucking all of it, and then expect the people to still stick to the game. I mean, that's your core group of people who are going to grind the fucking game out, and they don't care anymore. I mean, it's really hard to stick with BF5.
Would you say that was your biggest grief about Battlefield 5, or perhaps something else?
I would say their lack of competence with patches. It gives you no confidence in moving forward, let alone with the things that they promise, but say, hey, we're patching this very basic function of a game. No, you didn't. You said you patched it. It's still broken. And from what I've heard, apparently they coded everything so that they can't make one little tweak. Like, it'll affect so many other things at once. So they had to go through and fix everything all at once. And they really couldn't overhaul the whole system to where they can just individually do that. So, however, whatever that would equate to in super high above ItalianSuperBeast's head, computer PC talk. That's what they did. Their basic, they couldn't fix something simple. They had to fix a huge block of BF5 in order to fix this little thing. So I guess that's where they fucked up. So I don't see them doing that moving forward. So hopefully that's, them pulling support. Maybe it's great. Maybe it's absolutely perfect because BF6 is going to come out and it's going to fucking blow your goddamn socks off. I have low expectations only because BF5 made them that way. I was fucking drooling, if salivating rather. I was salivating rather at the thought of BF5 because, I enjoyed BF1, I enjoyed BF4, BF3. I mean, I was like, I'm a Battlefield player. This is a fun fucking franchise, fun series.
Yeah.
And then BF5.
Yeah. Hey, welcome on in, Kaiser von Grauer. Thanks for the raid. Welcome, guys. We're just talking some Battlefield. There's, I think, another console boy there. Yeah, we're talking some console competitive play.
Recently, PC. Kaiser von Grauer.
Yeah. Welcome to the Master Race. Hell yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask you about your favorite gun here, the 1907 SF. Why the M1907?
That's my bitch, man. I love that fucking gun. But it was really funny too because I didn't even know about specializations, and I only learned about specializations for the gun because I think it was 13 rounds in the 1907 initially. Before that, you put the skill tree in and get the extended mag, stuff like that. I watched Shroud playing it. I'm like, wait a second.
Oh,
he has 20. He has 21 rounds. What the fuck's up with that? And I'm looking. I'm like, oh, a skill tree. I had no idea. It was like probably a couple months into the fucking game. I had no fucking concept or clue or whatever of it because I talked to you ahead of the stream about having time. I didn't really have time to research things. I'm like, I'm just playing the game. Excuse me. But the 1907, I mean, they banned it in a lot of the leagues, and it was upsetting to me. Getting towards why I liked using it. If your aim is shit, you got no ammo left. If you start firing at somebody, you're half your mag's gone or all your mag's gone. You're dead in the water. But if you have if you have the proper gun skill and stuff like that, I have I have 2 different quad kills with the 1907, and it's it's far and few between because it spends the mag so quickly. So you can get a solid 2-3 kills as long as you know where's everybody at. Oh, it's gonna be Dort. He's gonna come up behind me. This is a competitive match right here. He tries to knife me and fails and loses his face. Later, Dort. That was early comp. That that got a lot of views because that was early competitive Battlefield. That was like 70 views or 80 views or whatever on that one clip because it got shared in the community. And then that was like it. That was like right before they murdered the season. But
it's kind of
either way
rips, dude. What about during the TTK debacle? Did you still play with it?
Yes. I think shit. At this point I can't remember how many times they changed the TTK. It struggled for me, or
Twice.
BTK, whatever you want to fucking call it. I can't remember how many times because it was so mind-boggling to me. Just change it once and I'll adapt. Fine. Fuck it. If I can't use if my gun is now useless, I'll just move along. And at this point, early on, they didn't even have the Battlefield tracker. You could not look up the stats with who had the most kills with anything. But I used this gun so much, 1907. I just loved it so much because it just fucking rips. And my gun skills pretty. I'm not gonna say it's fucking phenomenal, but it's good. And I was like, man, if you get a great, good gun skill and good movement, stuff like that, you could really just shred the fuck out of a team, make them look stupid, and sit there and reload and dance around and whatever, and just rip their faces off, and it's good to go. And I was like, I think at that point I had like 33,000 kills with it. I'm like, I got to be number 1 in the world with this gun. And I put before I even knew it ahead of time, I put it as a stream title, number 1 in the world with 1907 in kills. But I really didn't know that. And somebody's like, you're really number 1. I'm like, I don't fucking know, man. Do you know somebody else? Because you'd have to go through the leaderboards as they were, because it was pretty basic, not broken down by gun, and just look at the guys on top and see which guns they used. And none of them used the fucking 1907s. I'm like, I'm good. You got these assholes grinding out 1,000 hours already, and I don't, none of them use my gun. So I have to be number 1 in the world. And by the time it was released, to the breakdowns of the guns, I was number 1 in Xbox by like 5,000 kills. I'm number 1 in Xbox by like 23,000 kills right now. And I was number 1 all platforms, but then Battlefield happened because it was hard to play it anymore. But all platforms, by the way, I think I said that.
All
But
platform.
a
That's
PC guy
that's
overtook me
crazy.
recently, so
Oh,
and he has me by
really?
like 5,000 kills, and I
I was
haven't really used the
surprised by
sweeper.
that.
Okay.
Who the hell is it? Who the hell is using this gun that much?
It starts with an S. I believe he's a Japanese gamer, and I believe he's a
Oh, okay.
streamer too. I checked his stream out before, and he had like no videos or anything like that. So I think he just games, and maybe at one point tried to stream.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
yeah, if you pull up the leaderboards, you can see that. But and I just don't care anymore. And I'm number one on Xbox by a long shot. So that's good enough for me.
Have you found? It looks like people are talking about other guns. You found some other guns that you like to messing around with when I guess you got bored of the 1907.
I didn't get bored of it, but I mean, they didn't allow it in comp, so it was no good, and for me to be,
Oh
good
shit!
with the game, that gun, because I couldn't be practiced with other weapons that I could actually use in comp. So like the Sterngewehr 1.5, that gun, I mean, with the newest TTK, that thing's back to being a fucking monster.
Yeah, yeah,
So
true.
I'm like, oh my god, I mean, this, things just a beast, and with that many more rounds and shoot slow, and you can kill 5 guys with a fucking clip easy, if you're careful enough. And it just became where you needed different setups for different guns. So the STG, I mean, the recoil on that thing's so minimal with your ADS field of view on, that it's, you can beam people with that fucking thing, and it hits so hard at distance. If it's mid to long range, STG solid. If it's mid to close range, Sturmgewehr 1.5, as far as competitive, all day, every day. If they allowed the sweeper, I would go mid to long range, or close to mid range, whatever, with the 1907.
Well, there you
And
go.
they banned 3 buys. You couldn't use a 3 buy in comp. It's like, oh god. So I mean, there's so many stipulations that they made to it. I'm like, you can't even use the gun's banned number one. If it wasn't, you couldn't use the 3 buy. I'm like, okay, we'll just adapt and overcome, kind of thing. So eventually I started using other guns, started using support. I mean, the Lewis gun, guns that I'd never really used, but I knew were great, were like the
Yeah.
Bren gun and the Lewis gun. I mean, some of these guns are just disgusting. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I can kill them from this far away. I don't have to be right up their asses when I'm killing them with the 1907 and stuff. But, that was kind of my angle, though, too. I mean, because I play so late in the night, the servers would be dead and stuff like that. So my score per minute, my kills per minute, because I mean, I'm
Oh
playing
yeah.
in dead
Oh
servers
yeah.
regularly. So I mean, there's almost no way to get these high kills per minute, score per minute. Um, but I started playing with these other guns where you can reach out and touch people from a fucking mile away. I hadn't used. Um, I set I set out with a goal to make all of my classes a 4.0 or higher, and I was like, ZH29, huh? I heard this thing's pretty nasty. I'm like, pop dead, pop dead. Oh my god. I mean, it was just, oh yes, what the hell? All these things I can get. I mean, kill per minute. 4 or 5 kills per minute in a half hour long game. Like Jesus.
That gun's
900
disgusting,
score per
dude.
minute.
It's absolutely disgusting. I wanted to talk to you about your just streaming in general. You started streaming Battlefield 5? Is that when you started streaming?
I wanted to be up. That was the goal, to be up and running for BF5. I streamed the very, very end of BF1.
Okay.
So I wanted to be set up for the beta. That is. So I played some BF1, streamed that kind of thing. Hellrigel was king, um,
Yes.
and the Gewehr 98. Shit, I think I remember Gewehr 95 or 98. I can't.
Car
At this
Car
point, I'm
98
kind of
probably.
mixing games together, but it was so much fun. But I didn't like sniping as much because it was way less skill. The fucking the one shot chest shot shit. I'm like, like
Yeah, yeah.
that was
It felt
lazy to
cheap.
me.
Yeah, it felt cheap for sure. Satisfying though, cheap.
Oh
But
yeah, especially that sound, that BF1 sound. Ching, ching, ling, 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 ling. Oh yes, you're dead, and it's delicious sound. You like that? So, but yeah, it was, they had a different angle and immersion in BF1. So,
God.
but it was, sniping felt cheap. It felt like way too easy, and it was like, so that I like the up close and personal with the Hellrifle. 60 rounds. The fucking thing. I mean, some of the guns they had in that game were pretty. I
Yeah.
like that they were true to history and stuff.
So
Um,
Battlefield came along. Battlefield 5. You played the? Did you play the alpha?
I did not play the alpha, no, and I would have loved to, because I would have had a lot to say about it, I'm sure.
So you started when the base game came out. Then.
Yes, I started. Yeah, I played the beta.
Okay, so you did
Um,
play beta. Okay, nice.
yeah, the beta. Yeah, I'm sorry, not the alpha. Yeah. And I liked it, and I said there's a lot to build on. But it's a beta. Whatever, fuck it. They got a lot of things to fix. So on and so forth. And I think my KD was like a 2.15 or something like that at that time. But I mean, you
Yeah.
learn the game, learn the maps. I don't really put any stake in that in the beginning, because you got to
Oh
learn,
yeah. Same here,
power
dude.
positions, etc. So. But yeah, the
So when it comes to like
BF5.
so when it comes to like streaming and building community, did you notice other streamers out there, or like meet some new people coming on in? Like, how was that experience for you?
Well, it was great. I mean, starting streaming, I had wanted to stream for a long time because you just have sometimes you have those moments, and anybody who's in this stream right now watching the excellent Battlefield show with JulianJanganoo, um, I come up with a lot of random shit. I just say the most fucking random whatever the fuck, and now I have a voice mixer to
Say shit like this on there now.
and
Ah!
and I can do that and be creative about it and just have moments like that with my friends and shit and broadcast it and have people viewing and watching that moment like, oh my god, or that was fucking hilarious, or just the stupidest shit that I would love to, love to have everybody else be part of. It was great. But then BF5, literally, my brother doesn't play it anymore. All my friends that I played BF1 with, we all just went different games. So that's kind of
Wow.
a tangent. But I wanted, yeah, and especially with comp, it boosted my channel. It was a nice little angle where competitive people were dropping in the stream or either trying to poach you or whatever, trying to take you to another team, and just random things. But it was so great to meet new people and stuff like that, and really supportive community. I mean, if you go to, I haven't dabbled too much in COD, but the very first time I tried to stream COD and I was in game chat and effing N-word was the first thing I heard in about
Oh.
5 seconds. And it's just, I mean, it's so rampant. Like it's just like like generally it's just a more toxic community that doesn't really happen in BF5. There's a bunch of people who are toxic in Battlefield competitive, but I
Oh,
mean, as
sure.
far as Twitch Battlefield, I mean, it's a great fucking community. There's a lot of great people out there. I mean, there's so many people that you can run into. You just go into 5 different streams that are BF5 streams through the night, and you'll see so many, common faces and whatever, and that support you with views or bits or whatever. All of it's support, by the way. It's pretty great. So,
And you ended up doing a 32-hour stream.
I
Oh
did.
my god, how was that, huh?
Well, that's a story in itself, and it ties in Battlefield and Dice fucking perfectly.
Do tell, please.
Let me let it go. Okay.
32 hours.
The first 16 hours of that 32-hour stream, it was going to be a 31-hour stream, and that was because EK, Energized Night, gave me some shit. Because I did a 24-hour stream. He goes, hey, man, great. I rated him with the people on the stream. He said, that's all you got to do. He's like, you cracked my top 5 streams with that 24-hour stream. I'm like, all right. I'm like, what's your longest? He goes, 30 hours. I'm like, all right. Well, fuck it. I'm going to do a 31-hour stream. And I had planned on doing a 32-hour stream the entire time. I was like I'm going to, I want to not only meet and exceed, but really set another bar. So in case you want to do a little back and forth play, I'll do 33 hours, and it could be a little thing between channels if you want to or something like that.
Okay.
Turns out that's just a stupid idea, streaming that long in the first place. But that was the reason for me wanting to do a 31-hour stream, and I went 32 hours.
Gotcha.
The entire last hour was me trying to play TDM solo to see if I could still be a high skilled player 31 hours into the fucking into a stream. And it turned out I did pretty decent. Still pulled 3-4 KDs. It was no big deal. I wasn't,
Wow,
I was like, like that, but I did pretty well. But that was the weekend that the Lizard Squad or whatever, they got pissed off at EA and they shut down the servers and shit.
Oh, you kidding me?
So, and a couple people got upset with me, or at least told me, hey, you should change the category. I streamed Roblox because I've been playing Roblox as a joke with my nephews and stuff. And so I had it on I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to play Roblox. And people would jump in like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, it's the new update. It's the new Battlefield update. Look, guys, it's a 5.2 or whatever fuck was going to come out then. I'm like, this is the new patch. Guys like it. It was fucking great. And everybody's like, what the fuck is this? It's a 31 hour stream of Roblox and the BF5 categories. I thought it was a great way of memeing BF5. But I mean, in that first 16 hours, I played 4 hours of Battlefield because other than that, the servers were down. So it was supposed to be a Battlefield 31 hour stream. And I was like, oh, what a fucking perfect timing, you fucking idiot. So then I'm raging too. So I'm not burning up any energy raging, by the way, trying to last 31 hours like an idiot in the first place. But it ended up being, come back up at about the 20-hour mark or so. It was kind of, finding servers and repopulating servers and stuff like that. So it ended up being, you know, a lot of fun, and people were there supporting me. I really love all you guys who are out there, people from my team and stuff like that. Yeah, Stevie. Um, Stevie was there with me as well, and you know, it was a good amount of support from everybody, really wanting you to succeed. You know, let's see what this fucking asshole can do. 24 hour, how you feeling, and whatever. You know, the random people. I don't know if I think they're probably sent by Twitch. It's like, oh, make sure you hydrate and stuff like that. And staying hydrated really, by the way, really helped me out through the 31 hour stream, because I didn't drink a whole lot of caffeine.
Did
I
you
think I
get up
drank
at
2
all?
monsters by the end of it, but
Did you get up at all and walk around, or?
oh yeah. I'm sitting there doing like squat thrusts in I'm like going to the bathroom, like squat thrusting on the way there just to keep the blood flowing and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that was definitely a good idea. But basically by the end of it, my body ached. Like I was like sitting, you know, it didn't matter what kind of fucking chair you have. I'm like, ugh. Like I felt like a fragile old fucking man, even more fragile than I already am. See these grays? You see them? You can see
Oh
them.
hell yeah! So what did you?
Yeah.
How'd you prepare, like food wise, or energy drinks, coffee, or? Because I've never done anything like that before.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, number one, I needed to get a wired headset. I couldn't do a 24-hour
Oh,
stream that I'd planned on doing from the very get. I'm like, I'll do 24-hour streams, and I couldn't
is
do it because I have
very good.
the Astro A50s. They'll last for about 10, 12 hours, pretty solid. They'll maybe go 14 hours, but you're gonna the audio cutting out and stuff like that. I was like, okay, what do I do now? And the USB-C or whatever the fuck it is cord, it doesn't really work. It's so short. I'm like, you know, playing like this to keep it close enough to charge the fucking thing. So I got a the HyperX Cloud Alphas or whatever.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And just to have a wired headset just to play once this died. I mean, the audio sounds so much better in this headset. But I wanted a good quality wired headset anyway, because I don't like the input lag situation.
Oh no.
You know, just anything when you're competing, you know, hearing a footstep, if there are footsteps, dice. If a footstep is going to happen, I would like to hear it on time, not after the fact when I'm getting stabbed in the back or shot with a whatever the fuck shotgun right in my anal cavity. So, but as far as food wise, food prep, I just got some Subway subs,
Okay.
2 of them, and I just had them ready to go. I had my little cooler there. I had you know, a shit ton of water. I drink Pepsi. I don't drink coffee at all. This is my coffee right here. The taste of a new generation. I'd have to open it to drink it, so I'm not gonna do that to you guys. But I don't coffee. Anything hot makes me want to go to sleep. If I take a hot shower in the morning, I'm gonna go to sleep in the shower. So I mean, you know, and I work outside in Florida, so anything like that, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just good.
Ooh,
So you know, I like something refreshing with caffeine, which is a delicious Pepsi,
I
real
bet.
sugar. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it is. Sorry. So yeah, there was a, but you know, that was my plan, was a bunch of water, and I did take by the end of it two Monster Energies, but I thought that was pretty good because a lot of motherfuckers just slam those things on an ordinary 4 hour stream. So you know, and I don't regularly drink energy drinks in the first place. So
All right, cool. All right, so one little thing I wanted to touch on here was TwitchCon. First time we met
yeah,
up over there. How was it for you guys? I know we met up like a couple times and whatnot, so I just want to see how you guys enjoy the rest of it. What did you guys end up doing for TwitchCon?
it was pretty great. It was unfortunate I wasn't feeling all that well. So I
Ah,
didn't end up doing a whole lot. I enjoyed TwitchCon. It was great. JulianJanganoo is a tall drink of water, by the way, chat. And you know, it was great to hang out. I met Vince and Cassie. Who the fuck else was there? There's so many other people that I met there. That was just
old
great.
man.
Met Big Brother Stevie in person. Energized Night. You know, all these people that I was, you know, already either on a team with or yeah, knew of people because of the Twitch community, stuff like that. It was
Yep.
great to really meet everybody there. So that was really cool. The convention itself, um, I wish I had taken better advantage of it. I know Energized Night fucking gobbles that shit up. That motherfucker, he's a full time student and does, you know, full time streaming or whatever. I'm just gonna make
Yeah.
this an Energized Night promotional stream, by the way, or channel, uh, um, you know, thing as well. I know you already had him
You
on for an
already had it,
episode.
yeah.
Uh, but he, you know, he was like taking notes and said, I got this one at 3 o'clock, and then I'm gonna go do this one, how to monetize your. I'm like, man, he's a great fucking thing. I wish I had a plan like
Yeah,
that,
plan, yeah.
but it was more to get away because I was
Gotcha.
getting divorced at the time, so that was a good getaway.
Yeah, I hear you, man. And Like, it's always good to get away. In San Diego, dude. Like,
Oh,
you're
it's
across the
beautiful. It's great.
country. You're across the country. Was it kind of similar or a little colder than what you're used to, or have you been here before?
Oh yeah, no, that was my first time in California, and it was pretty great. Went down to the beach before I left. And it was there was a lot more to see there too. I mean, that was something I wish I had also taken advantage of, was really going around and seeing things. But for the majority of the stay there, I just didn't feel well. I don't know if I don't really get jet lag or anything like that, but I just didn't feel 100%. So I kind of missed out on a lot of things. But that's
Oh
why I
yeah,
was looking
dude.
forward to TwitchCon 2020. Rip, um, in F and chat. But I was looking forward to that, to seeing
Well,
everybody,
we think we're
because of how
pretty
many people
sure.
went, especially from the Battlefield community. But everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm fucking going. I'm going. Let's go. We'll fucking hang out and whatever." And I was really looking forward to this next year. And
Oh,
it's just
me
not.
too, man.
We know what happened there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still not officially canceled. But dude, if they're
Mm.
canceling Comic Con, they're canceling all these other things. Like, there's no way in hell the city's ever gonna allow that. But
Oh yeah.
no, everybody's like rescheduling for mid next year or end of next year. So hopefully we'll meet up again. Are you planning on going back if it hits?
If it's this year, it's probably too late.
Yeah,
I
no
have
way this year. No way this year. No, I ain't going. I ain't going.
yeah. It would be, we'll just say, risky in number one, and there probably wouldn't be much. It probably would end up being thrown together last minute, and we probably wouldn't get the whole benefit of it, because the whole thing is, you want the money to be there, so that attracts all the bigger companies and stuff like that for giveaways and contests, and just people who want to be there to really make it a success. That I feel like, it wouldn't. There's no way in hell that they would throw nearly as much into it as they did even last year, let alone moving forward. So I mean, TwitchCon's been blowing up,
Oh, it has.
from, and yeah, I don't think it just wouldn't. It would end up falling short and being too little, too. No, you can't do that. So the next
Yeah.
one, yes, I'm psyched about going to the next one. In theory, I mean, there's also a cost to that kind of thing. Going across country, it cost me, I think it
Oh
was like
yes.
$700 for just plane tickets. So, which isn't even all that bad necessarily, but yeah, that's pretty expensive.
Well, for sure, dude. All right, man. Chat. You guys got any extra questions for us? I covered quite a bit of things. We talked about the Battlefield 3 possible remaster. Talked about ItalianSuperBeast experience and competitive play on Xbox, and all the shortcomings of Battlefield 5 and all that good stuff. But if you guys want to add anything else, I know someone brought up Battlefield mods, like a modding tools and whatnot. I don't know. Console doesn't really know anything about that, not yet. But yeah, modding was never a huge thing after the Refractor engine was pretty much done. So
Hmm.
I don't think EA will ever go that route. To be honest, dude. Like, I don't know.
Do you mean like modding, like what they do with like GTA, where they have like the
Right.
Hulk and shit like that, like
That's
running around,
right.
like that kind of thing, or?
Yeah, like map tool or modding tools.
Hmm.
You like change up maps or make community maps and stuff like that. I don't think EA will ever allow that. It just doesn't benefit them. They'll just start
Yeah,
like
no.
there's no money in that. That's why Bethesda pretty much turned the modding community into microtransactions. Uh and yeah, people didn't really like that. So I don't think they'll ever have that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lost art. I mean, the last time I remember being actually upset slash interested in it was like Halo 3, where you can make your own maps. What the fuck was it called? I forget exactly what it was called. Forging, your own forging. And then you submitted those maps, and they would take those best maps and put them into the games. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, that's pretty bad. I mean, a lot of the ones that came out were fucking garbage, and I hated them. But the whole thing, that thought, like, hey man, you can fuck around and make your own map. I mean, I mean, such a basic game like Roblox, okay, because I end up playing some of that. It's fascinating. You can generate your own game. You can take your own theme and apply it. I don't know if you have to write the code necessarily, but I mean, that is great. What a great addition to the game. Like, okay, let's take Twisted Steel and make it a snow map. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. That'd be pretty badass. And then because you literally have the community that supports you in the first place coming up with ideas and showing you what could be great and amazing or whatever. If you have RSP, okay, to where and their community servers for RSP, and you can have snow, Twisted Steel snow map or Twisted Steel night map or night edition or whatever. You can have the community coming up with these ideas, and they're not going to be polished ideas, of course. But I mean, there's been some great shit that people come up with some good shit.
They
It's
do.
just in your chat on a regular basis. Why the fuck they don't do this? I'm like, fuck, I don't know. That's a great fucking idea. Start writing a fucking email. DM some fucking cunts on the dev team or whatever. Sorry, cunt dropping the C word. But
Favorite word, man.
there's a lot of people that have great ideas that just go unseen, unheard, or whatever because they're lazy and don't want to support the product, and that's pretty gross.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be gained by letting the common folk tinker around with things. It's pretty great. Did you ever consider just taking this part out of Hamada or something like that? Like this map would be so much better and more balanced if you took out this mountain range over here, or something basic like that for whatever reason people who developed the fucking game to put it out, AAA title by the way, to put out something for competitive play or whatever. You imagine if we could do that and make because we have for competitive we had to say we all got into these maps, we had to burn maps. We'd play one map, burn 3 maps, play one map, burn 3 maps, which means one team captures all the points and just gets through the game as quickly as they could just to get to the map we're actually supposed to compete against.
I remember. Yeah. That's terrible.
Yeah, so you'd have one team would choose one map. Say it was a 3 map scrim. One team chooses one map, the other team chooses one map, and then you have to decide together. You can choose one map to strike from it, but there's like 5 maps we could play in Squad Conquest. It was not the exact number, but if we could just tinker with some things and give people some flexibility and get so much more creative, and it only helps your community. There's to me, I mean, short of the investment in the time and money, of course, that's logically speaking, there's no downside as far as the community receiving that. Here, guys, this is for you guys to fuck with and say it doesn't work. Okay, scrap it, move along. But they haven't even had things like that because they haven't fixed the base game in the first place.
Yeah, it was called a CTE. We had that in a lot of the games. Started up in Battlefield 4, I believe, and it ended up in every Battlefield game. But this time they're like, nope, don't want to do it for this game. Hopefully they'll bring the CTE back. But dude, all these you can't give me a few ideas here. All these different things you mentioned. Why not have like snow on Twisted Steel? Yeah. Like that's something I bet you that the rental server program tool set can actually give you. You can just select whatever weather effect you want and maybe like a time limit. See, it's all about the tools, You just add the tools and you can mod the shit out of every map you want. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's where they can expand for modding. Maybe they can have like those tier. They're talking about server tiers. Like you get the tier 0 is a free one, right? And it works. It's a temporary server that you had for the day, right? And tier 1 is a permanent server, and you have tools, right? And tier 2, you have more tools. Tier 3, you pay more. You have way more tools, more customization. That'd be sick. That maybe they haven't done nothing like that before. But if you could just change weather effects, I mean, you could go a lot deeper than just that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's something deeper yet not all that much of a complex thought. When they re-released Frontlines and stuff like that, they put in more obstacles on maps like Aerodrome. You then had a few more things of cover that were either destructible or not, or places to build more cover that made such a fucking difference. I was like, oh my, like, dude, it's no longer, the Hamada Frontlines was so brutal because you just have a wide open fucking, like, you're just, it's D-Day. You're in the wide fucking open and just getting picked off by SARs or DMRs or whatever the fuck, and just getting your fucking shit pushed in. And there's nothing you can do about it. But I mean, have some sandbags you can build up over here. Sure, it's destructible. Somebody could take that down. They could Panzerfaust from a mile away. But guess what? You had some cover, at least temporarily, to heal yourself, rather than just like, fuck it, here we go. We're just gonna run out in the fucking open.
Yeah, instead of worrying about fortifications or whatnot, it's just like The Outpost. You played Outpost on Aerodrome?
Yes.
Yes, all that extra cover, all the sandbag stuff. You can rebuild the sandbags using the fortification system. Dude, little things like that go a long way, especially when it comes to like line of sight, you know.
And that's part of the game. That's already part of the game. That's something you could change the entire dynamic of how a map plays, or a little more strategy, a little more playability, that which makes, I mean, think about that. I mean, they never, to me, I mean, in a Frontlines rotation, when the game was still in a Frontlines map rotation, when it got to Hamada, server dead.
Yeah,
because you'd be playing a map
mode.
for an hour. If you got 100 kills in that fucking game, it was an hour plus. Excuse me, on Hamada, and it was brutal, fucking brutal. Because you're playing on a 15-on-15 fucking Frontlines match. Like, oh my god, I just want it to be the next map. And when they brought Frontlines back, they put Hamada back in there. It's like there has to be some type of goddamn statistic that says, okay, this is where the servers died. Hamada. I don't know if EK again. You coined the phrase or not. He goes, Hamada makes me Hamad, because it was just like it's like, dude, it's such a one-sided fucking map. Like, you have the distance. I can't remember the fucking points anymore, because I just want to try to rid it out of my fucking memory banks. The distance you have to travel in the wide open space, and there's just no cover, and it's just a shit show. So you can drop a smoke barrage, and it might give you 50 feet or 100 yards out into the middle of nowhere, but you still had 100 yards to go by the time the smoke dissipated. Like, there was just nowhere to go. You had to stack one side and hope you didn't get slaughtered by their fucking tanks, because they had 4 fucking tanks. It's like, Jesus Christ! Like, what'd you do to this game? Use your fucking head. Get your head out of your. I'm not upset about it at all. Not at all.
No tech for any of that.
No tech.
No tech. Not even for double XP. Damn, they really like yanked the fun out of this poor franchise. God damn.
Yeah, I do have. Matter of fact, I got a follower like 2 weeks ago, because he pulled up my commands, and one of my commands is ! Fuck this game, and it's the quote comes up. It's working as intended. So that was their. It's like working as in, what kind of goddamn response to your fucking community is that? Working as intended? Are you fucking
kidding me?
I mean, it's like, good God. We like how you guys play this game, but guess what? Go fuck yourself. So, I got to play around with, I mean, another basic function, okay? The after summary report. It would be the fucking what was it, the numbers that came across the screen? What the fuck are they called?
What XP?
Damn it.
What
No, the after scoreboard would not show up. It would just show a code, error code, whatever the fuck. I can't think of it. So I would say
no, it could not fetch report.
Thank you, Stiff Johnny P. Yeah. So I would say, okay, chat, we have a unique opportunity. And I'd say, pull up your Google search bar, or your Ask Jeeves, or your fucking, whatever it was, pull it up and type in the search bar, L, we'll go through the whole fucking number, then hit enter, and to get a nice message from Dice. It says, go fuck yourself. You want to see your statistics? Go fuck yourself. Were you interested in that fucking scoreboard? Go fuck yourself. Were you curious where your assignments were? Go, go off on a fucking tangent like that, because that's how a year into a game you can't even have a fucking scoreboard. Jesus. God damn. What? It's getting me more pissed off. Hey, Pendez. My Viking beard. Hey.
I got a nice little clip here of you, I think, saying something funny. Let me see if I can pull it.
It got worse. It did.
Here you go. Here, check this one out.
Oh, a Lewis gun from behind the column. The perfect fucking angle. Shoot me right in the dupayash. Oh, a Lewis gun from behind the column. The perfect fucking angle. Shoot me right in the dupayash.
The dupayash. I always like that one. That face. Good.
We're in the dupayash, yeah, in the keister.
Dupayash. Here's another one. You call this one Dracula used guns in World War II.
Before you play that one, if you could pause it real quick.
Yeah.
If you pay, not everybody got it. When I run into the building, the guy, he jumps through a window, and he starts off, he's like a little itty bitty ball, and then expands into a human. So to me, it looked like a little bat that just became a human. So if you watch closely, you can see it. So have at it. Bass and the fucking footsteps and shit are very, very loud now. Got that guy.
One more, and one on my left,
See, right here, I can turn into the building, and he just kind of like, whoop, he kind of like shows up right in
Alien,
the
I
face.
hope you're watching that.
Got that guy.
One more.
See that?
One on my left,
What? Dude, that's just, you heard his footsteps too.
Yep.
Which was kind
So
of
I knew he was coming, waiting for him, and he kind of just like, he's like this little thing, and he just like, ah, I'm a full person now, and you're dead. I'm like, what the fuck was that? I'm like, Dracula's in fucking World War II? I'm like, son of a bitch bastard horse gank. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah,
So,
you hear like a couple steps, and then he turns into the bat, and then he turns into Dracula, and then he just murders you with the MP40. Quite scary.
Mm-hmm.
I had another one where you started here in Firestorm. I think this was early on. I don't know if this was taken about like a year ago, but
Probably last time I played fucking Firestorm.
I know this is from, you said something funny I hear, and I thought it was pretty. Let's see.
A fucking Betty.
Betty.
What the fucking hell? No! What the fucking hell? Yeah.
A fucking dipshit.
That's me
Fuck
raging
you.
at something.
Fuck
I just missed my
God damn
shots. I don't know
it.
what
Eat
to
a
say about it,
dick.
but that happens.
Ball.
Eat a dick. Balls. Wait, so what happened there? Like, you, I feel like I'm missing something there. What happened?
I was hoping to get more damage. I believe. I mean, you're legit talking about something a year plus ago, but I mean, I think I was expecting to get more damage with the incendiary because you figure we're going from BF1. BF1, if you hit incendiary, you better lay down or else you're fucking dead, like almost immediately.
Okay.
So somebody, since everybody has on their kerosene aftershave and accidentally spills it all down their fucking body, when you go in fuego here, you figure it'd be damaged a little more, and I'm hip firing the MP40, which was nasty, I expected to get more damage. So, I mean, I really shouldn't have killed him or whatever. I just expected more damage. A lot of times I'll get upset by being bested by somebody who's garbage. And that was just an overreaction, if I'm being entirely honest. If I'm, it was just, there wasn't anything really extremely wrong with it, whatever. I expected the result differently, and it didn't. So I was pissy.
Yeah, I thought you got stuck on those baskets and shit, like around the corner. Like you couldn't go around the corner because there's like shit there.
Yeah,
it was like, I can't move. I can't move.
I mean, I was missing my shots as it was. But that seems like one of those things where the way I was strafing, I was putting my reticle where I was expecting to strafe, and it would have my reticle, hip firing there. So I think, yes, it was a combination of those things to where I was trying to strafe and hip fire them, and I ended up missing because I hit that wall or the little blocks, boxes and that kind of shit. So yeah, I think that's more likely of a scenario. But I was just being pissy, that's for sure, and I did it a lot. So
yeah, you have a mouth on you, ItalianSuperBeast. I don't want to mess around with you. Holy moly!
From Buffalo, big dog, you gotta have a sharp tongue. You gotta win battles, and unless you're gonna fucking throw down with everybody you fucking see, you gotta have a sharp tongue and be all over people like like white on rice. You gotta fucking beat people down so they don't even want to fight you. If you can demoralize somebody, somebody's fucking massive by comparison to you, you just have to whoop ass. I don't ever exaggerate, Stevie. Go Bills.
Hey,
there it is.
Hello. Hell yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a good time to wrap it up, I think. We talked about quite a bit. Can't wait for the end of this year. Maybe we'll get some more Battlefield content rolling around. What's your plans for playing Battlefield? Are you going to keep playing BF5 on Twitch, or what's your plans coming up?
Yeah, I mean, actually, right now, believe it or not, after all this chat and talk about Frontlines and shit, we do have a Frontline season going on. So we actually had a match earlier. I'm trying to laugh because it was a Milsim team, and we beat them and across 2 different maps. So 4 games, 2 different maps. We won in 38 minutes. So it wasn't a lot of strategy being put into that because they don't have a lot of restrictions in the game. It's kind of the league is very, very open for things. So basically, they ban like flares and MMGs. That's about it. So you can really abuse the rules there. So I mean, it wasn't much of anything, but it still keeps the team together, still keeps screaming, stuff like that. So I will keep dabbling back in BF5. I'm considering that like my roots at this point as far as streaming is concerned, but I'll be dipping more into PUBG because since I have the Go XLR now to fuck around with things, I can raise and lower my my voice chat and my game chat and console sounds and shit like that. So I can balance that with whatever game is on the fly, so I can hear footsteps, etc., and team chat and balance it out. So back to some PUBG, maybe even some Apex, more Warzone. I haven't even played. I played Warzone once on stream. And actually, it wasn't even my stream. It was I was Avenging Storm's stream, and you're just playing around with it. And that seems fun. It doesn't seem like something I'd really want to take seriously because it probably pissed me off. But I mean, as far as having fun on stream, I want to get back to some BRs and stuff because just back to having fun gaming because BF5 kind of tainted the fuck out of it. It really sucked the fun out of my streaming. And I'm just raging Italian super fucking rageaholic douchebag. That's who I am. Hey.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, so, thanks, Johnny P. I'll go check it out, dude. All right. Again, ItalianSuperBeast, thank you so much for coming on the show, the program today. You can follow ItalianSuperBeast right there. It says it right there. Twitter at ItalianSuperBeast or on Instagram. You send Johnny? Huh?
Johnny. I don't know. Johnny said he sent something to
you.
He
sent me funny. I'll check it out in a little bit. Unless you want me to show it now. I don't know where that would go.
I don't know. Is that one of my clips, Johnny? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, he DM'd me. I can't open up the DM since you're on here on Discord. I'll have to watch it later. Unless you yeah. Maybe you could put it in chat, perhaps. Let's put it in chat and I can bring it up right now. I have chat open right here for you.
Let's get it, Johnny. Johnny's
better be good, Johnny.
Hooligans, my fantastic mods.
Checking it out. These guys are pretty
great
aggressive.
peoples. Part of the great BF5 community we're talking about here.
Break it up here. What's going on? Cut the shit. Oh my god, they're all fighting. Fuck. Who's infighting? War is really wearing everybody down.
7 months ago.
6 views, ballin'.
Hell yeah.
Dark day, so that's good.
It is funny, Johnny.
Checking it out.
Of course, Stiff Johnny P likes his own clips that he clipped.
Yes.
Love you, Johnny.
I can tell.
Johnny's my dude.
I'm glad that worked out for you, Johnny. Thanks for sharing that one. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Stick around. We're gonna go raid somebody. If anyone has any last minute thing, I don't want to end it all abruptly and whatnot, but if you guys want to talk about something, you totally can. But if not, hold your peace. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Julian. Thank you for the invite, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
looking forward
to
it.
It's great fun for sure. Again, don't forget to follow my dude ItalianSuperBeast, and there's a lot of cool people here in the chat that you should check out as well. We'll be doing another Battlefield show next week, so come on by, follow the channel if you're not already. We'll be doing more Battlefield content all the way, hopefully, until Battlefield 6 comes out, and we'll be doing Battlefield shows all the time. Okay, you can catch us here on this channel. All right, everybody, y'all have a good night. Take it easy. Peace out.
Good night.
Bye now.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Stevie. Stiff Johnny P.
See you guys. Thank you, guys.